for a minute. All right, it's sharp 4. Hi everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening from wherever you join. Welcome to day 2 of Copilot Studio training program. Today we are going to talk about how we can get started with the overall Copilot Studio, and we are trying to understand the overall Studio tool, that what type of functionality it offers, what kind of terminology we need to understand before we get started with Copilot Studio and all. So we'll talk about that concept in detail. So generally, if I recap a little bit about the previous session, we started our journey with the introduction of AI. We talked about OpenAI, we talked about Copilot, Microsoft Copilot, and we talked about the Copilot Studio as one of the product of overall Power Platform component. Okay, so whenever we are talking about this product, the very first some base fundamental come up into picture. Although most of the time when you are already looking into Power Apps, Power Automate, or let's say for an example, if you are working with the Power Pages, most of the time in Power Platform, there are two terminology come ups into picture, which is environment and solution. This is like a base framework we need whenever we start any particular product into the world of Power Platform, and when we start any development with the actual production environments. Okay, so we will talk about a little bit, because generally in my Power Apps, Power Automate classes, we are going into too much into detail around environments in solution and all. So most of you are aware about those technologies, but let's say for an example, if you are not, don't worry. At least in this session, we will talk about the what exactly the environment is, how you can set up the environment, and how you can set up your first solution. At least we will go at the very high level, all the stops in detail. So 1 hour, we can do the quick revision on that particular part. Then we will start our journey with the Copilot Studio agent. So from today's class onwards, we will do more on to practical side. So we will directly open Copilot Studio. We will start working on how you can start think of building any agent, what kind of use cases are there. We'll start that thing. So at least by end of today's class, we will start at least establishing our first agent from the scratch, which is coming as one of the case study. Although in the next part, in Friday's class, we will finish that case study, because with that case study, we are going to cover up many basic concepts over here. Okay, so without further delay, let's get started and talk about this thing in detail over here. I would request everyone to be on mute, please, so it will not disturb anyone else. If your mic is on, make sure it's turned off. All right. Now, first of all, let me just talk about our first concept over here, that environments in the Power Platform. Okay, so first of all, overall, let me just talk about one more important thing over here. Most of the time, I mean, you have the question that, okay, for this entire Copilot Studio, how I'm going to be practice into our environment? Do I require any license or not, or what the case? Okay, so let me just now answer you that particular question over here. Okay, so the very first thing, I would like to share one Excel file link in the chat window. So let me just quickly open up one Excel spreadsheet over here on my screen quickly. So just give me a minute. I just opened this Excel spreadsheet over here, and what I'm doing here is I'm just sharing this link in the chat window as well, which is editable and it can be accessed by everyone into this particular group. What you need to do here is you just need to find out your name from this particular um, uh, spreadsheet over here. Okay, so basically what happens is it will basically represent your roll number over here in front of your name. If your name is missing, maybe after this call, just DM me. Basically, we have added every individual's name over here and their roll number over here. Okay, if you are present today, maybe just give in front of your name like P. So at least I know that you are present today. Okay, so just open that spreadsheet and look at your name and look at your roll number. Okay, now what's the purpose of that? Now I'm going to tell you about that. Let's say for an example, if you are not having your organization account, and during this training period time, like from today onwards till the training is finishing, if you want to do any practice, okay, I'm going to share one credential sheets with you, which is this one. I'm opening this over here. Okay, so over here, what happen here is, like, based on your roll number, you need to pick up appropriate username and password from here if you want to practice in my tenancy. Okay, now make sure that this tenancy that I'm providing over here by roll number wise roll number, okay, 5 people are using the same account. Okay, there is no such harm, so no such risk. But don't place any sensitive information into this tenant, because this is just your for practice purpose. Do not place your organization production data and all. Okay, it's for your proof of concept and all. And over here, I mean, I will tell you how exactly you need to activate the trial. I mean, not everyone need to activate it, but it's very simple to use the Copilot Studio in this environment. I'm going to go with a step-by-step process over here. Okay, so you can simply use this particular account over here. Generally, during this training program, so let's say from here to next batch when we start, after 15th August, till then you can still use this particular account for your practice and all. Okay, so at least during the training program, you don't need any purchase, or you don't need to buy anything else from the market. Okay, if you are already having your organization account, you can practice in your account as well, totally fine. Copilot Studio come up with 30 days of trial, 100% free, and after 30 days, it is extending to 90 days. So overall, you will get 3 months of duration in order to utilize this product over here. And right now, at this point, as the product is new, you can activate multiple trial instances. Okay, so you don't need to worry about, at least during this training period of time, and up to next 3 months. But again, next 3 months, if you want to do it, you need to use your own account. This account will be valid till 15th of August. Okay, you can utilize this particular account in order for your practice. Okay, as I said, these are your roll number. You just need to remember your roll number, and this spreadsheet, this particular file with all the credentials where I have uploaded it. I'm just showing you that as well to everyone. So we have shared the link for the class material and class folder. Okay, so generally in the class material folder, if you go to the class 1 folder over there we have uploaded this particular spreadsheet over here, PDF file over here, Copilot Studio training notes and useful link. When you open this up, these are all the credentials which are already present over there. Pick up your roll number and use that particular account. Okay, now I'm going to show you the step-by-step process of login and how you can get started with the industry-based practices for this Power Platform environment and all. We will go into detail over here, but this is like just an account information. Okay, now let's do one thing. So this is what the account information and spreadsheet information. Okay, now what we need to first of all think about that how we will log in over there. Okay, so first of all, do one thing. Let's say for an example, currently I am using, maybe let's say for an example, my roll number is 7. Okay, so I'm falling under the second account with the credentials that I have shared with each and every one of you over here. Okay, so my roll number is 7, so I'll just use one of the account available over here. Okay, so what I'll do here is, if I want to log in now, what I'll do, I can simply open the Chrome browser. I would say use the Chrome browser and create a separate Chrome profile. So you don't need to add credentials every time. Okay, click on add Chrome profile. That will create another Chrome profile for you, and it will just show you like this. Click on continue without an account and just provide like anything like Power Platform training, Copilot Studio, batch 23. Okay, I'm just providing this thing over here. Click on done, and this will create a Chrome profile for me. Here in the browser URL, just type here Copilot Studio, Copilot Studio dot Microsoft.com. Okay, and don't worry, the same URL is provided over here as well. If you don't want to type it, just copy it from your PDF and paste it over there. Okay, so copilotstudio.microsoft.com. This is something which you need to enter, and once you hit enter, it will just open up this kind of login window. Credentials I have already provided, so let me just copy one of the credentials from the credential document that I have provided everyone. So I'm randomly picking up this 6 to 10 account at this point. I'm just copying this out, entering my email address. If there are any space, just remove it. Click on next. I'm entering the password from here. So just entering this password, copy this and paste it out over here. Click on sign in. All right. And just if you just want to save your credentials, you can save it out, click on yes, and this is basically open up this kind of interface for you. Okay. Now, when you are opening for the very first time this particular window, it will just show you this kind of box. Your Microsoft Copilot Studio trial has expired. This kind of message it will show. Okay, what you need to simply do is simply need to click on extend trial option. Okay, because already one trial was finished and this is the second trial we are activating over here. Okay, so just click on extend second trial. Now for this particular account, I'm already doing here right now. So probably when you open it again, you will not be able to see it. But for the other accounts, probably you will be able to see it. But if it is popping up this, just open up this and here you are ready with your Copilot Studio account here completely over here. Okay, so this is like the first step that how you can open your Copilot Studio. Simply the URL is copilotstudio.microsoft.com. You need to enter the credentials and you just need to open this up. Okay, the credential spreadsheet, credential PDF, as I have shown you, it is available into class 1 folder, class 1 material folder. It's available. All the links are shared. After class 1 has finished, I shared the link already into the email to everyone. So go to the class 1 and over there, this is the file, Copilot Day 1 Copilot Studio training notes and useful links. So this is the file which is there where credentials are there. Okay, so right now I just opened this up. I just shown you because if anyone don't know how to open this up, this is the first step you need to do. Okay, now let me do one thing. I'm not going to use this particular account. Just give me a minute. Let me just quickly open up the one that I have here. Just a minute. Okay, so this is what we just activated as a trial. Okay, for Dave account 2. Now the thing is that now we need to just understand some of the basic terminology of the Power Platform, because we know that Copilot Studio as a product is available underneath Power Platform umbrella. So some of the Power Platform fundamentals we need to understand that how the development is going to be started. Okay, and for that two terminology, environment and solutions are come up into picture. Before that, I would just like to see into this particular chat, particular Teams chat as a reaction. How many of you already working in the Power Platform and aware about environment and solution thing? Maybe just give me some reaction. So at least from this audience, I will get an idea that how many of you already aware about that. Okay, I just wanted to see that. Maybe just give me some reactions, not like raise hand, just give me some reactions that you know it. Okay. Perfect, perfect. All right, now people who don't know, you don't need to worry about that. I mean, we are going to do a quick revision on that, so it's fair enough to start with. Okay, so what I'm doing here is I'm simply closing this window. I already have my another account for this overall demonstration. I'm going to use this. This is one of the sample I provided with Power Platform Dev 02 account, that this is how you need to open this up. Okay, now I'm just closing this out over here at this point, and I'm just let me just close my slides as well. Slides is something which we are going to cover up in a while, and let me just open up one of the account that I have over here already. Okay, so just give me a minute. Power Platform Training 23. Okay, and here I will just use the URL copilotstudio.microsoft.com. Okay, now the very first question arises that Copilot Studio is available as a part of Power Platform product. It's fall under the Power Platform umbrella. So over here, the first question come up into picture, that environment. And now what is the environment? Simply let's try to understand that as a textbook definition over here. So same like Power Apps, Power Automate, environment is something like your environment is a place where all your resources are being placed, and environments are specifically intended for the specific target audience. So generally at the enterprise level, you have dedicated development environment, dedicated UAT environment, dedicated production environment, which means that developers can access dev environment, UAT people can access only UAT environment, and production is totally separate. Why we are doing that? To support the ALM of the application lifecycle management for your applications, we need to have the environment in place. So if I explain over here like a simple textbook definition of environment. So Power Platform environment is a space to store, manage, and share your organization's business data, apps, chatbots, and flows. Okay, so same like no matter you already have your Power Apps environment. In the same environment, you can have your Copilot Studio as well. If you have Power Automate environment in that as well, you can have your Copilot Studio as well. It's just a generic Power Platform level environment we are talking about. Okay, an environment is a container which is acting as a separate container box which has the different role, security environment, and target audience. This is the exact same thing that I just talked about, right? So your target audience is different. So obviously many organizations when they are going live with the production environments, right? So in production they are not providing the access to the developer because production has the sensitive data, it has the business data, and we don't allow developers or any other person to access the production environment. So that's how the target audience is different, its security is different, right? And specifically development environment, of course production people will not go anywhere into development environment because it's an ongoing environment where we are still developing it, we are still testing it, and once we are good enough to go it live with the final version of the product, at the time we are moving it from the development to production. And when we are thinking about this overall Copilot Studio, we need to think about this ALM as well from the beginning. Because let's say for an example, moving forward, if you are building any chatbot, if you are building any agent, if you are building any kind of agentic flow, or if you are building any kind of autonomous agent, or let's say for an example, if you are building any kind of MCP server, right? At the end, you need to move it from one environment to another environment. So what would be your strategy? If you are starting from the beginning inside the solution itself, that will make your life much more simpler. And that's the reason we need to start our journey with the environment in the world of Power Platform. Okay, now what we need to do as a next step over here is what type of environments are available inside the world of Power Platform. Let's just talk about at the very high level. At the Power Platform environment, we are having the default environment, we are having the sandbox environment, trial environment, developer environment, production environment. These are the different environments are available. Now, what is the purpose of each environment and when to use what environment? Let's just talk about at the very high level. The terminology themselves are the self-explanatory. Okay, so let's start this journey from scratch over here. So the very first thing I would like to do here is this is my Copilot Studio home screen which I have opened over here. So first of all, let me talk about the default environment over here. So whenever you are logging for the very first time to your tenant, basically what happen here is at the time, by default, you can see the default environment over here. Okay. Now, whenever you use the default environment, this is your organization's default environment. Like everyone will have access on the default environment. Okay. Now, for better ALM perspective and industry-based practices, it is always good practice to set up the separate environment for you. And for that, we need to use the Power Platform Admin Center. For that, click on the setting here from here. And over here, there is an option available, Power Platform Admin Center. Click on that. When you click on that, basically it will open up the Power Platform Admin Center in the new screen over here. So let's just do it over here. And when you open this, this is what it is opening my new admin center over here. Now, this particular admin center is something which is a new admin center over here. Most of all the environments now have this new admin center available. If you are familiar with the classic Power Platform admin center, you can always turn on this switch and this is what it is opening the classic admin center for you. I would recommend to go with the newer version of the admin center now because now it is more stable and you can do most of the things very easily over here. So we will just use the new admin center over here because that is the future now. Now, to start with the environment creation process, first of all, we need to click on the manage option from here. So click on manage. Now, when you click on manage, over here, you can see some of the default environment is there for me. Okay, now we need to start our environment over here from scratch. So we will simply create the new environment over here. Now, During this training program, what type of environment you need to create, let me just give you a very high level idea. So as I explained you at the very beginning that what are the different type of environment available. Okay, so if you look at over here, when I click on this new environment option, here I can see the different type of environment, and you can see couple of environments over here like trial, subscription based, developer, production, trial, and sandbox. Okay, that is how this type of environments are available. All right, now these environment names are very self-explanatory. Okay, but let's just take at the very high level idea around that, what environment to choose and when to choose what. Okay, so number one is trial and trial subscription base. Okay, trial subscription based. Okay, so these are two type of trial environment. Okay, generally when you select the type as trial, 30 days trial it is providing to you. 30 days of trial will be provided to you. After 30 days, the environment will deleted within the next 7 days. Okay, so after 30 days, it will you need to make it into production, or maybe you need to change the type of the environment, because it will just provide you 30 days of limited trial instance. Okay, trial subscription base is again like in all the tenancy it's not available. Only few tenancy who are using the Azure subscription and all, they are offering this trial subscription based tenancy. Again, it is coming up with a predefined days of validity period. After that it is going to be expired. So generally trial and trial subscription base, if you just want to use or utilize some sort of trial in your environment, you can use it out. Okay, but again 30 days is the limitation. That's what I wanted to talk about here. Okay, now there are two popular type are available. One is sandbox and another is production. Again, most of you are working with the Power Platform and probably you are aware about these two type of environment. So sandbox environment, which is generally useful for your development purpose or testing purpose or generally UAT purpose. So generally non-production environments you are creating with the help of sandbox environment. It's just a type which is just telling to your admin that this is not your production. Okay, so apart from that, functionality wise there is no such difference into that. Okay, so sandbox will do this particular activity. Production wise, this is specifically designed for the production environment. So whenever you are going live, at the time you should use the production environment over there. Okay, now the thing is that the question arises that, okay, now all of this environment creation and whatever we are building it, does it require any kind of licensing or does it require any kind of capacity storage? So let me tell you, yes, when you are creating sandbox and production environment, minimum 1 GB of Dataverse storage capacity is required. Okay, now the thing is that most of the organization have this capacity available, because what happens is whenever your organization is buying any kind of licenses, Microsoft is providing them some sort of free capacity of the Dataverse, and generally it is in the gigabytes. So generally most of the organization has 50-60 GB of Dataverse storage capacity available, so you are able to create the environment over there. But most of the time when we are learning any product, like let's say for an example that account that I have provided you, right? So at the time you will not be able to create sandbox and production because we haven't purchased so many licenses for that lab accounts. Okay, so at the time, what would be the option? So Microsoft come up with a solution that, okay, if you are a developer and if you don't want to pay and if you are learning right now, they have introduced one more type of the environment called developer type of environment. Now, this developer type of environment is something which is providing you 2 GB of Dataverse capacity free to use. Okay, plus it is providing you the unlimited validity. Like if you are using your environment constantly, it will not expire. But let's say for an example, if you will not use for 30 continuous day that account, it will automatically going into the retention, which means that it will automatically be deleted from the system. So make sure that whichever developer environment you create, if you want to constantly use it out, you should constantly use that that out, as well as after certain period of time, at least log in into or maybe do some minor things, so at least your account will not get deactivated and deleted. Okay, so developer environment is the best environment to start with if you don't have any particular licenses over there. And in this particular class, what I would recommend everyone to create the developer environment. So even though our training program duration is not just 30 days, our training program duration is more than 30 days. So we are starting today, probably next month, 9th or 10th, we are finishing it up. Okay. So you need that active, account for a longer period of time, because if you are creating trial, only one trial is created per environment. Not everyone will be able to create the trial environment. Okay. So what you need to do, you need to do the developer environment creation. Per account, Microsoft allows 3 developer environment creation capability. Okay, so that's the reason that account is shared with the 5 people. Okay, so you can create your own personal environment by your own. In case in your when you are creating the developer environment, and if you are facing any issues or if you are not able to create it out, just let us know. We will provide you the separate account. Okay, this is just for a note. All right, but this is at the very high level, that when to choose what type of environment. Now, what I'm doing here is simply for this particular training purpose, we are going to create our developer environment over here. So I'm just creating my developer environment name as Copilot Studio Batch 23 Dev. I'm just providing this type of name to my environment. All right. Make sure this switch is turn off for you, because this is a managed environment. Now, what is managed environment? Generally, during the Power Apps classes, we are talking in detail about that because it's more related to that. Managed environment means whenever you are turning on this switch, no matter your environment is what type of environment it is, if you are creating any Power Apps, any Power Automate, inside that everything will require a premium license. It's more on to Power Apps, Power Automate side. So just park at that point. You just need to remember, you don't need to turn on that particular switch at this point. Okay. Now, one more thing, this environment creation process at the organizational level cannot be done by you because you don't have those accesses. Generally, every organization has a support system in place where you just need to raise a support ticket that you need to use this environment for this and this reason, because not every organization allowing you to create the developer environment as well. So even for developer type of environment, you need to raise a support ticket, and they will create the developer account for you. So this is like a most of the Power Platform admin's activity. Okay, it's not something that your duty, but here we are learning because we are learning this entire curve from the scratch. So it's better to know from scratch how we are starting this overall journey. Okay, so we will simply do that. With this lab account that I have provided, you will be able to create your own environment over there. No such issues in that. Okay, so we'll just turn this off over here. Group option and region option. The group option is something you don't need to select anything, simply select none from here. It's nothing to do with any security or something. It's group means most of the time at Power Platform Admin Center, they introduce environment groups. So they are having different business unit and they are creating different group. And when they create a group, those groups are available over here. So for them, it's easy to categorize that, okay, in North America region, how many environments are created, in EMEA region, how many environment created, or in Asia Pacific region, how many environment created if it is a global IT team. Okay, so for them it's easy. That's why they have introduced this concept. But here we don't need to select any group for ourselves. Simple. And then region. This is again very, very important aspect that you need to consider. Depending on where you are living, generally at the industry level, it is very, very important factor to choose the region. Once you choose the region, you are not be able to change it again. So make sure that decision is to be made widely. Let's say for an example, if your customer are from the US, they don't prefer their data center to be outside US. If you are from Australia, they have this also strict GDPR policy. Even Indian healthcare also has a strict policy that outside Indian region, your data should not be reside, right? At the time, you need to choose this region wisely. So there are different region options available over here, that where your data center, whatever files, whatever things you are developing, where the data center is hosted, Power Platform data center is hosted, you need to decide based on this. So different options are available depending on your region. I mean, depending on your country, you just need to pick up appropriate region from here. Okay, so I'm just choosing United States at this point, but depending on your region, you can just pick it up anything from here. Okay, next, this is important feature. Get new feature early. Make sure you turn this on if you are more tech enthusiast, because when you turn on this feature, what happens is any preview feature are coming first with you, so you can always play around with those features and you can always try out those features for yourself. If you forget to turn on this feature, there is no rollback option, so you can't if you just turn off right now and if you are thinking that I want to do it later, you can't be able to do that. So make sure, if you are thinking that okay, if you are tech enthusiast, I would not recommend it for production, but at least for development version, I would say turn it on. So at least if you are doing some proof of concept or if you are exploring any features, it's at least helpful to you. Okay, so make sure you turn on this feature at least for this particular training program. So that will help you. Okay, and from this type, we will simply select the developer type, because as I said, developer type don't require any kind of extra license capability. You can explore all the premium features free, like your Dataverse, as well as your Power Apps, your Power Automate. You can explore it out without any additional thing. Of course, like some of the things like AI Builder and this Copilot Studio require the extended trial, but at least rest of the features you will be able to explore this out over here. So just choose the developer as a type of the environment. Okay, and simply clicking on next. If you want to provide any purpose of the environment, you can provide it out, or you can simply click on next. And as soon as you click on next, it will just ask you the currency. Currency is just a matter that for this environment, by default currency which you want to set it up, it's nothing to do with your data. I mean, when we are creating actual table or something, or at the time you can create the currency column with the custom columns. At the time, any type of currency will be there. It's just at the high level that this dataverse is, something with this currency. Okay. And last is deploy sample apps and data. So Microsoft offers some predefined package for you to check it out, that okay, this is how your sample apps looks like, or it just deploys some of the package out of the box. If you just want to utilize it, just turn it on, otherwise turn it off. I'm just making turn it off because it's nothing to do with Copilot Studio. Generally, if I'm on Power Apps or Power Automate, please, maybe at the time I will turn it on, because it deploys some of the canvas application, some of the model driven application out of the box. Maybe just if you are new at the time, you can just utilize that as for your reference. So I'm just turning that off at this point and simply clicking on save at this point. So I'm just clicking on save button at this point. As soon as I click on save, it will take some moments in order to set up the environment. And once you will be able to see that queue over here, that I hit save, and it is showing you the option over here, as well as this showing this message that it's preparing. It can be prepared once it is ready, and it will show you the message over here that it's preparing at this point. Okay, usually it is taking around 5 minutes to 10 minutes range in order to set up the whole environment for you. Okay, sometimes it's quicker, sometimes it's late. So let's wait it over here, and you just need to check the status. Then maybe just do one thing, just click on the refresh button from here. So I'm just refreshing this button over here, and you can see that over here I can see it's available at this point. It's ready at this point. It's in the early stage. Copilot Studio batch 23 day environment is available. All right. Now, how to access this environment now? Okay, because it's created right now. It's ready. Okay. Now, remember one thing, sometimes it is showing you the ready status over here, but behind the scene in backend, it will still take some movements in order to set it up. Okay, now how to check this out, whether your environment is ready or not? So simply go to your Copilot Studio over here. Okay, this is your homepage, copilotstudio.microsoft.com. Hit refresh over here. Okay, once you refresh your page, let it to be refresh, and check on the top right corner over here. So I'm just clicking now on this option, environments, on the top right corner. As soon as you click on that, see if your environment is available over here or not. So yes, I can see that my environment is available over here. Copilot Studio Batch 23 Live. This is the Batch 23 Dev. This is the environment we just created right now, right? Which is available now. So what I'll do here is I'm switched to this environment. And to switch to that environment, you need to simply clicking on that environment name. So click on that. And as soon as you click on that, it's just making that switch to that environment that we just created. Okay. And this is how it's going to be look like. Okay, this is your fresh, brand new environment for your batch 23 development. Okay, and this is what the first step we need to consider in your mind when we are setting up the environment for the very first time. Okay, and this is how it looks like. Now, the question arises that, okay, my environment is created, right? Now, there is another terminology come up into picture at this point is solution. That what is solution and how we can leverage it out solution for our overall Copilot Studio development. Okay, so I'm just going to talk about that. It's a very small and easy topic, and then I will pause here for a question answer round. Okay, so just wait for few more minutes and then I'll pause here for a moment for opening the stage for Q&A. Okay. So if you look at this overall Copilot Studio, right? Generally, when we are working in the Power Apps and Power Automate, there is an out-of-the-box option itself in the product. Like, okay, if I'm opening my Power Apps, just for an example, okay, so generally we are working with the Power Apps and all. Okay, at the time you are having already this option like solution over here, right? But let's say for an example, if you are in the Copilot Studio interface, and if you want to look at the solution, how you can look at this out? Okay, so it's something that you need to click on these three dots available over here in the Copilot Studio. And there is an option available over here called solution. So it's looking like this. I think this UI should be improved a little bit in the future, but you just need to click on here. And what happens is this will open the exact same interface like Power Apps and Power Automate, but you know, the background color and theming will be like a Copilot Studio kind of thing. Okay, so it will just showing you like this. So let it to be open. So this will open the overall environment. And guys, remember one thing, it's nothing like a new environment. Okay, so let's say for an example, if you are already having some environment for your Power Apps, Power Automate, okay, so utilize the same one for your Copilot Studio as well. You don't need to create anything new, because whatever, let's say if I'm in Power Apps and if I open the same environment, Copilot Studio Batch 23 Dev, it will show you the exact same thing that you are able to see. If you go to the solution option and whatever solution you are able to see here, the same solution you will be able to see over here as well. There is nothing different into that. It's just like Microsoft has provided different user interface for the each product. So don't get yourself confused that okay, this solution which I'm creating under Copilot Studio will be different than the Power Apps one. No, it's nothing different. It's the exact same across your entire Power Platform. And that's why I'm using this word many times in my session that this is called as a Power Platform environment. It's not called as a Copilot Studio environment and Power Apps environment or Power Automate environment. It's like your entire Power Platform. So whatever products are fall underneath that, all the products are considered into that one. Okay, so this is how your environment is being set up over here. All right, but yeah, as we are very new into this one, so we will use Copilot Studio one because we are learning this tool, right? Already Power as Power Automate we know or we not know, but at least this is what you will get an idea around. Okay, now what we need to start with the solution creation process. Okay, and I would like to tell one more thing over here that whatever I'm doing on my screen right now, okay, don't try to mimic it right away on your screen right now, because the thing is that this is not like a classroom study, which means that you know teacher is teaching something during you know when we are very young, and you know I'm writing something and you will write the same thing in your notebook. You don't need to take any notes, you don't need to do anything, just listen to me, just try to understand the concept. Recording is available for you, even notes will be available for you. Okay, even whatever I will build here, the packages will also be available for you. So your focus would be just and just learning. You don't need to even you know take a pen and you know you need to write anything in your notebook. Okay, everything will be available because we are living in an era of AI Copilot and this thing. Now gone are those days to take notes and everything. Okay, so don't worry about that and just try to focus on that, because the thing is that if you try to perform with me, you will not be able to match that pace, because obviously the pace will be higher over here when I'm explaining, and you will be totally new. So it will take some time in order for you to, navigate some of the element when I'm showing on the screen. So that's what, after every class, you need to do that activity as a part of your homework. Okay. So now what I'm doing here is at this point is, okay, we created our environment. Now let's come up with another terminology over here called solution. Now what do we mean by solution and what's the purpose of the solution? Let's first talk about the theoretical definition of the solution first. Okay, so solutions are the mechanism for implementing the ALM in Power Apps Power Automate or Power Platform. Okay, and there are mainly two type of solutions available: managed solution and unmanaged solution. Okay, now this is same like Power Platform terminology which we are using for Power Apps and Power Automate. So you can see here there are two type of solutions available: managed solution and unmanaged solution. But when you are creating the solution for the first time, it's always be unmanaged solution, because you are developing your solution for the first time. Managed solution will come up into picture only during the time of deployment. So when you are deploying that package to a production, at the time this managed solution concept come up into picture, which we will cover up into the last session of this training program. Okay, so let's start creating our first solution over here from scratch. And for that, I'm clicking on new solution over here, and I'm just providing the solution name here. So I'm providing the solution name is Copilot Studio day two, because we are in day two at this point. So I'm providing this display name over here. Name it will automatically create, it will without any space. Okay. Then you need to create a publisher for your solution. Now, what is publisher? Most of you aware, but those who are not aware, just
Anu,
a simple example. Sorry, someone mic is on. Make sure your mic is turned off, please. It will not disturb anyone else. Okay, so over here, like we are having publisher option. Okay, so what is simply publisher? So simply just consider this simple example like Indian music industry or Hollywood movie release industry, right? Generally, when movie is released or any song is released, there are some distribution partner, or when you are looking at any movie on Netflix or Amazon Prime, right? They are having the title at the very beginning that, okay, streaming partner Netflix, or streaming partner Amazon Prime, or digital partner this, right? Or maybe like overall production house is like Red Chilies Entertainment, or production house is Universal Media, right? So what are these production houses and all? So basically they own the ownership of that particular product, that particular movie. So in Indian music industry, T series is a very popular name. Many musics are released underneath T series. So T series basically having the royalty rights. So basically based on that, they are paying to the singers that, okay, whatever plays are happening, based on that they are paying to the royalty to the appropriate person, right? So which means that who owns the right of the solution? Okay, who owns the ownership? Even when you are buying any book, right? So when you are purchasing any book, it has the publisher name that this publisher is Pearson, or this publisher is, let's say, in India, Navneet Gala. These are the popular publication house, right? Who are publishing lots of books, lots of assignments underneath their banner, right? Apress is a very popular publisher in the world of digital tech media, right? So this is called as a publisher. Same concept is here. So who owns the ownership of the solution? Basically, its name, that name is going underneath publisher. So generally, most of the time when you are building for your company any kind of product, so generally your company names are going over here. Okay, so let's say if you are working for TCS, and maybe TCS, the client is, let's say for an example, Coforge. So basically, Coforge is building one solution and they hire TCS to build the solution. So, at the time, in publisher name, because they are building for them, Coforge is paying to TCS on that. So generally, that particular company's name is going to be uh, shown over here in the publisher name. Okay, so simply to create a new publisher, click on new publisher over here. Here I'm providing my own company name because I'm building this whole solution underneath my company. So I'm providing my company name Power Platform Trainings, or let's say if you are having your own company, you can just provide your name or anything. Okay, but this is just I'm giving you the context, and this is what the Microsoft is also saying over here to you, that publisher indicate who developed the associated solution. So this is generally that particular company for whom we are building the solution. Okay, so make sure you provide this name properly. You can change the publisher name later on as well, but the only thing is that whatever file existingly create, you can't change that particular name. Okay, so you can change this name, but of course, like already, let's say if you are created already some Power Apps, Power Automate, Copilot, so existing one you will not be able to change it, but new one futuristic you will create, you will be able to do that. So make sure you provide the publisher name wisely over here. Okay, then prefix. So over here again, like I'm just providing a short name of my company. So say for example, if my company is TCS, then maybe I can just provide TCS as a name over prefix here. So every file will know that, okay, this is a part of this solution and it always has that prefix with the solutions object. Okay, let's say I'm in Infosys, I will just provide Infi as my prefix. Or maybe let's say for an example, I'm in Power Platform Training, so I'm just providing PPT over here. It's a short for name. Okay, and choice prefix is automatically created, but you can change it out as well, it depending on your needs. So basically choice prefix is mainly with the dataverse. So when you create any choice column in the dataverse, at that time it come up into picture. Okay, but we are generally not changing this out. This is what you just create a publisher, click on save. And as soon as you click on save, this is how the publisher looks like. You know, that newly created publisher will be available over here for your solution to use. So click on that. Never ever use these default publishers. Okay, because these publishers are created out of the box when your environment is set up for the first time. Always for your solution, I mean, at least create one publisher which you can use into multiple solution. Okay, so I just created this publisher, that's it, and click on create. And once you click on create, this will create this particular solution for me. It's a completely blank solution for me, which has been created over here. Now here I can start my entire journey for setting up my Copilot Studio from scratch. Okay, but here what I'm doing is I'm just going back over here. Okay, now one question also arises in our mind that, okay, Dhruvin, uh, what happen if I not create any solution? Okay, so where are those objects files are being stored? Or I can see these two solutions over here underneath this particular environment when we are setting up for the first time, right? So what are these solutions? So let me just give you a little bit context around that. So when you are setting up for your environment for the very first time, these two solutions are out of the box available. Okay, one of the solution is default solution. So when you open the default solution over here, you will be able to see so many files already been created. So this is like, your computer C drive. So when you are opening your Windows computer and when you are buying the laptop for the first time and going to C drive, right, behind the scene it has so much things installed into that, like so many program files, whatever softwares that you have installed, its installation files and everything is there, right? So generally in C drive, you are not deleting anything because it is depending on your entire computer's system files, right? So same way default solution over here is never ever touch the default solution over here for the first time. Okay, because it has all the system files over here. Okay, generally the thing is that default solution is something which you can't even export it out. So when you select this default solution, there is no option of exporting and importing it out. Okay, so basically it includes all the system files. So consider your Windows computer C drive where your program files are there. Similarly, in the Power Platform world, all the solution, I mean, in order to support this environment, all the system related files are stored into this particular environment. Never ever touch this environment. Okay, now, second environment that you are able to see here is common data service default solution. And you can see here, this is showing as a preferred solution as well. Now, what is that? So this is like your computers download folder or my document folder, right? So if you are downloading anything from your public internet, by default it is going to your download path, right? Because it's a default path set in your computer that all the download file will be available at that location. Or let's say if you are opening any Word or PowerPoint, and if you try to save it out, by default you are having my documents where it stores the file if there is no other path setup, right? Same way, if you are not having any other solution, and if you are just creating something randomly into Power Platform like any flow or any Power Apps or anything, by default it will be available into this solution called Common Data Service Default Solution. So all those things will be available over here. Okay. Nowadays, Microsoft has offered a functionality that, okay, if you don't want to use this as a preferred solution, and if you have any other solution created, like let's say we created this solution, and now I want that, okay, I want to set this as my default solution, or maybe no matter if I'm not creating anything into solution, by default everything will be stored over here. Okay, then this is option also available over here. Let's set preferred solution. So what happens is if you make set preferred solution, all the files that you are creating outside of the solution will be available in this particular solution by default. Okay, this is like a another feature which is available from the last year onwards, which you can make it out. But we are not going to do anything because for our project, we are always going to create our separate solution. We are always going to start the journey from scratch from that particular solution. Okay, so this is how the solution creation journey. And again, this is what we just created. And now over here, we will start creating our Copilot Studio agent creation journey from scratch. Okay, but here I would like to pause for a moment and take the stage for any Q&A. If you have any question on any type of environment, how we set up solution, what is publisher, if that terminology is unclear, or if you have any questions around that, I'm happy to answer it out. And then we will move forward to the next part. Okay, so the stage is open for Q&A. If you have any question, feel free to raise your hand. Okay, and even if you're not unable to speak, you can just paste your question into chat window as well. Okay, so let me check the raising hand sequence over here. So I can see first raise hand from Anand. You have question?
Yeah, hi Dhruvin.
Yes.
Dhruvin, I want to understand one more time the default solution functionality for any of the environment.
So default solution is the by default solution which is available for any tenancy, and by default any new user is created, they always been able to see the default environment. So many times I have seen that people are not creating an environment if there are very small project, or there is a need, like okay, they don't want to go into too much detailing, and their solution is very small and there is no need of deployment, and whatever they are building they are going to use the same into the production. At that time they can build everything into the default one as well. Default also provide the same capability, like you can create the solution as well inside that, you can place your element inside that. But again, only drawback for the default environment is specifically like everyone in the organization is basically see what is developing, although they cannot be able to access it out. But at least currently I have opened this default environment, and let's say for an example, I can see so many things over here on my screen. Okay, this is not something that only this person created. I mean, if someone else has created, I can see that over here as well. Okay, so from other environments default solution thing, I can see it over here. I can see that what people are doing here, although I will not be able to edit this out, or I cannot be able to make any changes into this because it is blocked, it is based on the permissions. But at least it's like a cumbersome environment where everything in your tenancy will be available over here. So no proper ALM setup for the default environment. So generally at the industry level project, for a big projects, we never ever start with the default environment. We always start with the dedicated environment, because we need dedicated development, dedicated prod. We don't want prod to see dev data and dev to see prod data and everything. So by considering that, that environment concept is very, very useful. Apart from the default is all about organizational level. Just imagine you are having your computer, you are having my documents, right? Or having your computer, you are having some common drives, or maybe in your organization you are having some shared drives, right, which is shared with all the people in the organization for some sort of central place. So it will act as a similar like that. Okay, hopefully that is giving you the clarity.
Dhruvin, actually, default
Default
environment.
solution. Okay, you are talking about solution. That is not called as a default. The word is preferred, not default.
No, we
So
have the predetermined solution, right? When we open the solution page, one is default and one is CDS.
okay, you are talking about the default solution of the environment. Okay, not the environment, sorry. Okay, yeah, so default solution is like a program file. So all the program files of this environment will be placed over there. Let me just quickly open that up over here. Yeah, this is the one default solution. So this is like 10,000 files are there. So some of the AI Copilot AI
Oh, okay,
models are
okay.
there. So it's like when you set up your computer, your Windows 11 requires so many framework behind the scene to support your system. Same way, in order to work this Power Platform environment in a smoother way, Microsoft also required so many files to be deployed into this environment.
Okay.
So when it is set up for the first time, it will be showing like this.
Okay. It's kind of a virtual machine as given to us in form of default solution into our environment. Kind of.
Maybe you can just use that terminology, but not exactly like that. But yeah, I mean, to have you ever considered like, okay, whatever you are saying here, like, okay, import solution or let's
Mhm.
say publish customization, how it is working. Obviously, there are some code behind the scene, right? And
Right.
Microsoft somehow need that code to be deployed so that it will work smoothly, right? So that's the reason, like, they have this solution where uh, they have deployed that whole packages over here in order to
Got it.
support this entire tenancies functionality. Yeah.
Good. Thank you so much, Dhruvin.
Yep. Perfect. Next, I can see raise hand from Neha.
Yeah, hi all. My question is when we log into the Copilot Studio, do we need to create the environment from the scratch or it is like it is already created and the solution is already there in the.
No, you need to create it out. So when you are using our practice account, you need to create the environment for your own. Okay. It will not
Okay,
by default will be available. So you need to follow these steps in order to
okay.
create that. Yep.
So it's like the five people if log in, they have the different environment created for themselves.
Yes. Yes,
It's
yes.
okay.
So in future, you will use your environment. Other person will
Okay,
use their environment. So there is no
okay,
such conflict into that. Okay.
yeah,
Most of the time, this is what the my usual pattern I have observed. Out of five, only three are creating. So other two are not creating. Mostly they
okay,
are having their own tenancy. But yeah, sometimes not everyone has the tenant. So they are requesting. If you are not able to create, just let me know or just DM us on WhatsApp. We'll
okay,
figure it out. We'll provide you the SAP because we have so many roll numbers available. So if any roll number is full, maybe we can use the other account as well. Okay, but just
okay, okay,
let me know if you're not able to. Yep,
okay. Thank you so much.
perfect. Next, I can see raise hand from Anil.
Hey, hi, Naveen.
Yes,
This question might not be relevant for this topic as of now you covered. Maybe you cover in the future, but what I'm very excited to ask. So we have a different environment for Dev UAT and prod in Power App and Power Automate, and we use some DevOps deployment pipelines to deploy from different environments. Now here also we follow the same process in the Copilot Studio.
exactly. Yes.
Okay.
Exactly same process. Nothing else. Access security principle, everything will work. So it's the same. Like, I just created this environment here. I have the same solution over here also available in my Power Apps. It's just a product UI change. Now within the same solution, I can, let's say, if I have combined thing. I'm building one project where I have two Power Apps, two model-driven app, three Dataverse table, five Power Automate, two Copilot Studio agent. I can, have everything into one solution and deploy because it's fully ALM compatible.
Oh, okay, got it. So entire solution can be deployed from the one
Yes,
environment to lower to higher
exactly.
environment. Yeah.
Yes,
Okay.
yes, perfect.
Okay, got it. That's it. Thanks.
All right, great. Let me quickly check the chat window here. Ping the URL. Okay, URL someone ping. Thanks, Karthik, for pinging that out. Okay, all good. Perfect. Now I would like to just take some reactions from the audience. I can see raise hand from Vishnu. You have question? Vishnu, if you are speaking, I'm not able to hear you. Maybe just check your microphone. You are on mute, but I'm not able to hear you if you are speaking. Okay. While he's fixing his mic, or maybe just put your question in the chat window. I'm happy to answer that out because I'm still not able to hear you if you are speaking anything. Okay. Uh, Maybe meantime he's speaking. Maybe I just want to do. Rakesh, you have any question?
Yeah, so
Yes.
if if a developer has created a solution and
Yep.
and another developer wants to access it, so would he be able to view it, or like
Yes.
he has to publish it before other
No,
developer
it's
can view
nothing to do with
it?
it's nothing to do with any publishing. It's just a matter that generally at the environment level you need to supply the access to that environment. So generally, the how we have set up the environment at the initial level. So let's say I'm going to my Power Platform Admin Center, and let's say for an example, if I want to provide another developer access to the same environment and same solution, you just need to go to the manage over here, go to the environments, and whatever environment that you created, let's say we created this one like 23 day environment. I'm just selecting this environment. Over here there is a user option available. Okay, so go to the user option, just add that user over here. So currently you can see that I can have only these users. So search for that user. So let's say for an example, over here it will show me the suggestion. Let's say I'm just adding this user over here into this environment. Okay, and it's just a matter that after you need to assign a role. So this is what generally when we are doing our Power Apps and Power Automate at the time, this whole security role model driven concept, this is what we are going to talk about in detail. But this is what generally we do. We just need to add that user over here. And after that, we just need to assign them a role as minimum system customizer role. That's what we need to do over here if we just wanted to have more developers to be working within the same environment. Okay,
Okay.
perfect. Hopefully that clears your question.
So if like if three or four developers are added within one environment, so any solution created by any of the developer is visible to
Is
all those
visible.
three or
Yes,
four
that's correct.
developers.
That's correct. That's correct.
Thank you.
Yep, perfect. Next, I can see raise hand from Harun. You have question?
No, I'm good. I just got that.
Okay, okay, no problem. Yeah, and to the previous one's question, once you have that users added, you just have this role selection over here. So you just need to select like over here highest role, maybe minimum you need to at least provide the system customizer role from here. Where is that system customizer? So at least they will be able to work with the solution and all. And that's how you can simply add that user over here. Okay.
So system customizer is the minimum role.
Minimum list privilege that
Okay.
developers require in order to work with that. Okay,
Okay.
perfect. Next, I can see raise hand from Bestha. Sorry, Sri Lekha.
Yeah. Hi, Praveen. My
Yes,
question is if one user is having a environment access in the solution, I have Power Apps and Copilot also. So if they can access my Power Apps and Copilot as well, who has having
yes.
Power Apps access?
Yeah, so look, that is depending on what role you are assigning to here. Okay, so over here there are different roles. So we just added this one user called Power Platform Dev 7, right? Now what happened here is there are security roles available. This is again like a big topic on the Power Platform level. Generally, in our Power Apps classes, we talk this in detail, but just to give you at very high level, if you are assigning system customizer or system admin, no matter what Power Apps or Power Automate level they have access, they can access everything basically because this is the highest level of access. Okay, so they can access everything. But let's say for an example, if you're just providing them like a basic user access or environment maker access over here, like basic user, this one, or let's say you are providing environment maker access, there is one more role available. Okay, these are all like a system role. Okay, if you're assigning this role, they can access only for which they have provided access. So let's say if they have access on Power Apps, they can only access that. If they have Copilot access, only they can access that. So if you require that, this is the role we need to assign to them. But at the time, we are just because when we are developers, we require some higher privileges because you are creating a solution, you are deploying a solution, you are building the solution, you are publishing the solution, right? So with the environment maker, you can't be able to do everything. But yeah, if you have that kind of need, probably you can just assign an environment maker role to them. So in that case, they can't be able to access everything. They can access only for that flow or that power apps that they have access on. Okay, hopefully that is giving you the clarity, Srilekha.
Yes, for example, in the environmental level, I have a system customer or system admin. But Power Apps, I want a system admin, but Copilot, I don't want. So I don't want to give any admin access for my Copilot. It is possible, Dhruvan,
No,
in that
it
case.
will be at the environment level. This is environment level access. So
Hmm.
in that particular case, you don't need to assign the user to system administrator role. Just assign them environment maker and basic user role. So they can only be able to access that app level and Copilot level. It's not considered as an admin access. It's like editing access. It's called as. So the person can edit that power apps or the person can edit that Copilot agent that you are building. So that level access are called as a editing access, like co-owner kind of access, that who can edit or make the changes into that particular artifact of the solution. So it is nothing to do with role basically. So you just need to minimum assign them basic user environment maker and Power Apps and Copilot level, whatever access they have, they can able to do that thing.
Okay.
Right?
Explicitly, we need to provide
Yes,
different access to different Power Apps and Copilot,
exactly.
right?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, that's
Okay.
correct. Perfect. Next, I can see raise hand from Javed.
Yes, Drovin, I just want
Yes.
to ensure that I understand properly. Therefore, if I create an environment, I don't add any user to it, he will not be able to see it, right?
So it again depends from what type of environment you are creating into that. Okay, so let me just be very specific onto that, and for that maybe I need to open another account over here to explain this better, because I'm just talking about at this point about the developer environment. The security is again a very very big topic for entire Power Platform. If you do not add any user into the environment, let's say for an example, I'm going to this admin center over here. I'm just going to the manage. I'm just clicking on new environment. Let's say if I'm creating on sandbox or production type of environment, you must need to supply some security group over here. So let's say I'm just creating any taste over here. I'm clicking on add data our store and I'm clicking on next over here. Okay. Over here, you have this option like security group. Okay. At that time, you need to provide here that to whom you want to grant this access to this environment. So whatever security groups are there, you need to select here. Or if you select none, which means that it's open access, means every person in the organization can access that environment, but not like they can edit or they can do anything, but at least they can able to see that environment. So mostly when production and development side of cases, we are always restricting that via some sort of security group over here. So only that set of people can access that environment. Otherwise, by default, with the open access, everyone can see here. In developer one, why we need to add the individual user? Because developer one don't have this functionality to add security group. So at the time, whichever user you want to grant, you need to add them as an individual one. Otherwise, they can't be able to access anything by default in the developer environment. But in case of sandbox and production, you need to must supply the security group while you are setting up the environment, or maybe after setting up the environment, you can configure this as well. Okay.
Okay.
I think we did this, Javed,
Yeah,
if you recall our Power Apps class, we have security class. So we did
yeah,
that,
yeah, 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 yeah.
yeah. So it's the exact same funda over
Yeah,
here.
yeah. So
Nothing
I
new
was
into
just
that.
kind of
Yeah.
refreshing my mind. Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah,
absolutely.
thanks. Thanks.
Perfect. All right. Okay. Anyone else has any? Tarun, you are able to. Do you have any question, or is your hand is just raised? I'm not sure. Okay.
Hi
Uh,
Praveen,
yes.
I have a small doubt. So
Yes.
I have a M365 license. When I went to
Yes.
the apps, I did not see the Copilot Studio. It's a different app. I need to log in or
You will not
like
be able to see any icon for that. You just need to type in the browser URL copilotstudio.microsoft.com and hit enter. It will open up
Mhm.
that thing.
Oh,
So
okay.
even with MIME 365, you will not be able to see like a power plat. You know how you are seeing into this icon. You'll not be able to see that icon over here. Maybe if they have added, I'm not sure, but you are not able to see. Maybe just go to your Power Apps or Power Automate anywhere, wherever you see, and maybe in this Power Platform, if you click on Copilot Studio at that time also, it will open up. So multiple ways to open it up, or maybe just hit enter like copilotstudio.microsoft.com and it will just open this up. Okay.
Yeah, okay. So, so we created last time in the Power Apps one solution, like one environment, right? So, like, can we use that environment for everything, like in Power Automate,
Yes,
Copilot Studio?
you can
So
use
it's
this out.
only changes the solution, like not the environment.
Yeah, yeah. Even if you want to use the same solution and want to add everything into it, that is also fine. Okay, so it's
Like
totally
I'm
up to you.
asking, in the environment we have like two different projects, like a different projects. So we
Yeah,
need to
then you
create
need to
different
create a new
solutions.
solution. That's correct. That's
Yeah,
correct.
okay. Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. Thank you.
Perfect, no problem. All right, I can see one question in the chat window. Can we use also pipeline for Copilot Studio? Yes, you can use pipeline for Copilot Studio as well. Solution deployment will be the same like Power Apps and Power Automate. Nothing change into that. Same managed, same unmanaged, same deployment pipeline if you want, but generally we will do the manual deployment. But yeah, if you want to use, you can use it out. That capability is already there. Okay, hopefully Vishnu that answers your question. Maybe just give some reaction that it's answered. Okay, perfect. I do not see any more raised hand. So now we will go to our next topic. But before that, I would just like to take a reaction from the audience. Just give me reactions if you are aware about the environment and solution part. It's clear for everyone. Maybe just give me the reactions if you are able to understand that part. Okay, and now we are going to start our next set of journey with Copilot Studio. So we will take a tour first of what with Copilot Studio, what we can do versus not, versus what it is offering. And then we will start with our first case study into this particular class. But again, like we'll go with a smaller pace, at least for first theory classes, because we are taking the foundation of the Copilot Studio at this point. Okay. So the very first thing I would like to explain here about the Copilot Studio homepage tour. Okay, so let's talk about that. Okay, so this is the home screen when we have set up our Copilot Studio environment for the very first time. And when I hit the URL in the browser, copilotstudio.microsoft.com, at the time it just open up this kind of interface for me. Okay, now over here, if you look at this overall studio, how many things are available? So the very first option available over here is the home page. In home page, this is kind of home page it is offering where you can see one again in Copilot, there is a Copilot capability, which means that here if you are providing some sort of prompt that okay, I want to build help desk chatbot help desk agent help me to create this out, so you can just write your prompt and basically it will help you to create the copilot agent over here. Okay, similar like having your power apps and power automate, you are having the copilot, like you just tell it that okay, I want to create onboarding application, help me to create this, so it is just creating some sort of base design page for you and some data was stable for you and it just do it for you. Okay, so it's some sort of AI capability that they have offered. Again, it's not that great. When we are learning it, I would not recommend to use this option anyhow, because when we are learning the product, we need to understand each and every aspect. We just don't want to use AI. But once you are familiar with Copilot and maybe if you want to save some of your time, at the time maybe you can just utilize this. It's nothing like same like ChatGPT. Whatever prompt you will provide, based on that, it will start creating it for you. Okay, so describe your agent to create it. This is like a home page of that. Let's I'm writing here that I want to create. booking agent which takes uh, room booking, room and meeting booking. Okay, when you write this, hit enter, it will start analyzing and it will start evaluating that. Okay, based on that, it will ask you some more question to you that, okay, I will help you to build this one, what name you want to create. It will just provide you that kind of capability. It will create some of the things automatically for you. Okay, like this one. All right. But right now, I'm just not doing this because first we will create it from scratch, and this will automatically be able to understand after you create that one. Okay. Second section again on the home page is available as the explore agent option. Okay, now what is this option? Let me just tell you, when you click on see more, you will be able to see other option as well. Okay, now over here, there are some ready-made plug and play agents are available. Same like, in Power Apps and Power Automate, ready-made templates are available. So here also Microsoft has launched some of the template for the agent where, you have some sort of need for document processor or financial reconciliation or store operation or variance analysis. They have already built this kind of agent, and when you click on appropriate agent, basically it will just install that package over here into this Copilot Studio, and you can directly be able to use that particular package for yourself. Okay, so these are some ready-made. So at least this will give you an idea that what level of customization you can do it, what level of examples you will be able to do it with the Copilot Studio. So this is what it is telling that, okay, if you are having any website related question answer kind of agent, you can do that. If you want to create any travel agent, or if you want to create any financial insight agent, or IT help desk agent, or citizen service agent, or benefits agent. Benefits means specifically like employer to employees unique benefit. Okay, sustainability insight benefit, or weather agent. If you want to create, there are ready-made templates available. Just utilize it, plug and play, and it will be ready for you to use it out. Okay, it come up with very limited functionality, but again, these are some use cases. It just providing you that this is what it is available. Okay, now very first thing you need to understand here, so this is all about like out of the box template kind of thing. Okay, I'm again going to the home page again. Okay, so this was your explore agent option, and at the last it is showing you the different learning resource. So if you just want to attend some of the free Copilot Studio workshop from Microsoft, or if you want to read some documentation on Microsoft Learn, it is like a guided learning path also available over here. So you can, if you just want to refer this thing out, you can simply go with some of the popular documentation over here. So they are providing you that as well. Okay. Now, one terminology is very, very popular in the Copilot Studio. It is agent. Okay. Now let's try to understand this word agent first. Okay. And from where it is inspired, let me tell you that as well. Okay. So just imagine this is the common word which we usually use in our day-to-day life as well, right? Like, let's say for an example, generally in India or maybe in the any other country in the world, generally when we are doing any kind of ticket booking, or let's say when we are applying for a passport or applying for a license, we are contacting sometimes some sort of agent, right? Sometimes for insurance company also hire some agent. When you go to the bank, they are also having that agents. In post office as well, there are some agents, right? Now what is the goal or purpose for the agent, and why we are going for the agent? Let me tell you. Let's say for an example, if I'm doing my let's say this is the month of July, right? In India, July generally is the financial, we are generally filing our income tax return and all, right? At that time we are going with CA. Why we are going with CA to file our return? Because CAs are the subject matter expert who knows that area better than us, and that makes life simpler for us. Okay, let's say if you are some company and if you are returning GST on every month, right? They have hired some sort of CA to file their GST return every month. And why they are hired that? They can do it by their own as well. But why they did that? Because that task is just 5 minutes for the agent. But it's complex for individual human. Right. Same way, if we are going with travel agent, right? Let's say for an example, I want to visit any country where I've never visited. Like I want to visit Europe, or maybe I want to visit US, or maybe I want to apply the US visa, H1B or something, right? I usually contact some agent. agent who is like a subject matter expert into that domain, who knows all the things about like, okay, what could be the questions being asked, what type of document you required. It will save lots of your time rather than you figuring out everything. You just utilize that knowledge and make your life simpler over there. When you're going into any government offices, right? You don't know that how many things require. Always when you submit one, they ask for another, they ask for another, right? So we hire some agent who will do that entire thing for us and give it the thing to us at the very end. Because why we are leveraging them? Because it is saving our time. They are subject matter experts. They know what to do versus what not. And that's how this whole terminology is very popular into actual human world nowadays, right? So, so exact same terminology is here as well. So, who is agent or what is agent in Copilot Studio? Agents are subject matter expert, which means that although it's AI based, but we will feed some knowledge into that. So that agent is enough capable to do all the activities related that particular domain for which it is being designed for. So let's say for an example, if I'm creating help desk agent, so any help desk related thing it can be able to handle it out. If I'm creating any agent, let's say nowadays if you are opening any Amazon or SBI website, right, they always have the chatbot agent at the and customer care agent, right? So what that agent is doing actually, whatever questions you are asking, it is answering it in a human language. It understand your language and it will try to figure it out the answer for you, right? Because that agent is being fed with some sort of knowledge within that, right? If you have observed that when you are calling any customer service or IVR, right? So when you are talking to any human agent, right? They are solving your problem faster because they are trained into that fashion to help you so that your problem can be resolved in some minutes, right? So same way, agent in the Copilot Studio are the intelligent framework that we are configuring with some sort of knowledge sources that it can help you to automate many things easily for you. Okay, there are so many examples we are going to cover up into this whole journey of creating agent, but this is at the very high level. I'm trying to explain what is agent. Now let me tell you one thing. What was the old name for agent? Okay, initially when this product Copilot Studio was called as Power Virtual Agents. Okay, Power Virtual Agent. Existing name was PVA, Power Virtual Agent for this product. Now they are calling that as a Copilot Studio, but before 5 years, that was the name of the product. Okay, it was not popular at that time. All right. Now the thing is that Power Virtual Agent was the name of that time, and at that time, this agent was called as a chatbot. So many times I'm using the word chatbot or agent. Don't get yourself confused. Chatbot is equal to agent. Plus, agent can do much more than the chatbot. Chatbot is just like, it can just working as a chat interface that, okay, you can chat something and it will reply it, right? But agent is not just like a chatbot. It can have all the features of the chatbot, plus it has so many additional feature that it don't require chat interface as well sometimes. Okay, it can be configurable anywhere. Let's say for an example, you have a need that someone is sending the inquiry for the uh, product inquiry, that how many things are pending in your inventory and what's the cost for each part. Okay, so it can be configured with your mailbox. So mailbox is configured with the agent. As soon as any new email arrives, agent can read out that whole context, deep think about it, analyze it, and try to find out what product you have asked for. Based on that, it will check your database. It's also connected over there. Okay, and see that, okay, product is available or not, what's the pricing around that, and based on that it will draft the whole email and reply automatically over there. Okay, well, chatbot is just like a chat interface. Okay, I'm not big fan of chatbot because generally whenever I'm going with any platform like Amazon or maybe any customer service platform, I'm not, because that chatbot is sometimes behaving very, although it's AI, so it's not like 100% accurate. But again, like sometimes you feel bored when playing with the chatbot, right? I'm personally feeling that out because sometimes I'm not getting the answer from it, right? So I'm always interested to talking to the human agent. Okay, so chatbot, if I'm talking about this as a product, like I'm not more interested into that. But when it comes to agent, right, it do more than what we are expecting over here. So that is whole journey we are going to cover up over here. Initially we will build some of the chatbot for few sessions, then we will go with the agent and the whole end-to-end trigger based action based. So we'll go into that nth level of detailing over there. Okay, but this is what the agent mean by. Okay, with the real example, this is what I try to explain you guys. Okay, so what is the textbook definition of the agent? So an agent is a powerful AI companion that used to handle a range of interaction and the task. Okay, as I said, it can handle everything, like same like your human agent. If you tell them to build the passport for you, they come to your home, they collect everything, they just fill up your form, everything, they just take your signature, they submit in your office, they schedule your appointment, you go there. At the time also he's helping you, and when your passport is dispatched, at the time he'll do the other formalities as well for you, and then you are paying to that particular agent, right? So the exact same thing, it can do all the range of task. It's not just one task to fill the form, but all the stage of that complete process, it is helping you. Okay, agent coordinates a collection of language model. Okay, now we are talking about little bit theory here, that along with instruction, context, knowledge source, topics, action, inputs, triggers to accomplish the desired goal. Okay, now what are these all the terminology that I talk about, which we will go into detail we will start actually agent building journey. What is knowledge source? What is topic? What is action? What is input trigger? Okay, we'll talk about that in detail over there. Okay, but just wait for that few more minutes over there. Okay, and then you can easily create the agent in Copilot Studio without the need of any data scientists or developers, and it's completely low code. So the way we are going to build it, like it seems to be complicated, that how can it able to handle all these things, right? Without any code, without any programming, just with the low code. So it will be able to do that, which we will see in detail during the demo time. Okay, but this is what the theoretical definition of the agent. So now fit this terminology in the mind, what is agent? Okay, agent, just consider same like a human agent. This is your AI agent. Okay, now when we look at the more case studies, you will get a better understanding around that what it will be able to do it out. Okay, so now we are pretty much clear about the first terminology, agent. All right, now this entire Copilot Studio, when you click on the create button, next set of phase is create. When you click on create button, there is an option over here, that new agent, and from here your overall journey will start for creating your own custom agent for your own organization with your own data set, with your own knowledge sources, and you train that agent in a fashion that no matter what type of question your human is asking, it is able to answer that out. Okay, so from here usually we start this journey. Okay, I'm not creating right now, but we are just taking the studio to right now. Okay, so this is all about the agent. Then third tab is agents tab. When you click on this agent tab, basically it will show you if you have created any agent into this particular environment, it will be available over here. Okay, by default it's just showing you Copilot for M365. This is like a default agent on the environment, so it's just showing you that. Apart from that, it will not show you anything to you over here. Okay, so when we start this journey for agent creation over here, it will be available into the agent section over here, which we will do in a few minutes. Okay, next we are having the flow section. This is a new entire segment over here. Okay, and this flow is called as an agent flow, and we are calling that as a agentic flow. This is again very popular term nowadays in the market. Okay, do you know how to create agent flow? So let me tell you guys, agent flow is nothing like any rocket science. It's same like your Power Automate. Okay, but they just revamp that Power Automate into Copilot Studio 1, and they introduce new licensing model for that, and there are some reasons why they have done that entire activity. So we have a dedicated session on that on the later part of this training program. So we will going to talk about in detail at that time that what do we mean by this agent flow and what it can do versus not. So this is all about agent flow. Okay, so right now when you open this up, right now you are not able to see anything over here, but consider right now similar like your Power Automate, but it has little bit more power and different licensing model. Okay, so this is all about agent flow, which is also available as a part of Copilot Studio, and this was introduced after March 2025. Before March 2025, there is no such concept over here called agent flow. They introduced that during the Microsoft build during March 2025, and now at least it is available. So in all the tenancies, it is they have rolled out this thing, so you can leverage this thing out. Okay, so flow option is basically agent flow option. Next, we are having the tools option. Now, what is this tools option? So when you click on this tool option, okay, you are able to see here the option that create your first tool. Now, what do we mean by tool? So tool is nothing, but you know, again, this is completely new concept. Few things were already there, but they just revamped this as a little bit terminology over here. Okay, so over here, you can do couple of things. Okay, let's say for an example, you build one agent, okay, and that agent you want to connect with some sort of custom connector, or you want to connect with some sort of REST API with it, or you want to apply some sort of custom prompt for that, or you want to connect MCP server. I talked about this word MCP server, which again was popular from this year May onwards. MCP means model context protocol. This is a new feature, so now it is available over here that how to connect any public, ready-made uh, context protocol for AI models within the Copilot Studio. We can leverage it out directly within the Copilot Studio over here itself. So what is MCP server? We'll talk about that as well. We have dedicated session on that. Okay. And agent flow, it's the same agent flow that we have seen here. It's available here. So either from here you can connect or here you can create, both are same. Okay, but simply like it's just providing you the what nth level of customization or integration you can do it over here. It just show it over here that okay, with Copilot Studio, if you want to connect any REST API, custom connector, agent flow, MCP server, or if you want to write any custom prompt and integrate it over here, you can do it over here within the Copilot Studio. Okay, so this is like overall tool option. Again, with practicals, we will see each of the option in detail on the later stage, but this is at the very high level it is offering at this point. Okay. Next, it has this three dot option over here, which we initially used to go to the solution. So basically, this will redirect you to the solution, Power Platform solution. So pretty clear and simple to understand, and they have some common links over here. So again, this is a one common option for any Microsoft product, that this is Power Platform. They have provided some shortcut option over here. So let's say from here, if you want to go to your Power Apps, this is the shortcut. So it will just open your make.powerapps.com or make.powerautomate.com, or this kind of link. It will just open it for you. Okay, so this is all about like simple Power Platform link over here. Okay. Apart from that, it also offers some more integration capability over here. Okay, so over here there are three options. One is Azure Cognitive Service. Okay, so what they come up as a capability over here as well, they just provided some sort of guideline over here when you click on that. So sometimes what happen here is whenever we are working on the AI platform, right? So many questions are come up into our picture because so many AI products available, okay, into the market. If we talk about the overall AI market, okay, but within the Microsoft domain as well, there are so many product competitions internally. Okay, so if you are talking about in the low code space, which means that Power Platform space, we have a product called Copilot Studio. Okay, which can done all the agent and custom development for that. If you are talking about Teams, okay, Microsoft Teams, they have their own framework, both Composer framework. Okay, and it is like a code-based framework, which is again useful for the different kind of chatbot development. Over there as well, you can do some sort of cognitive service integration, Azure integration, but again, it's entire code-based framework. Okay, apart from that, as well, at Azure level, there are so many other services available, like cognitive services are the very popular services for the AI. Okay, cognitive services, there are many different services providing, like computer vision API. They provide the text to sound API, text to video API, text to image API. They are providing lots of API integration. So that is also something which can be integrable. Okay, apart from that, there is one more product as well in the Microsoft space called Azure AI Studio. Okay, uh, this is again like whole about more about like a custom AI studio, which is like based on the Azure, and over there you will be having more power. Like, you can deploy any large language model. On top of that, you can build your own model. Okay, so there are so many different places uh, where Microsoft internally has the different product. Okay, and the Copilot Studio, why we are learning this, because all these other things that I talked about over here, right? It requires some sort of code knowledge, specifically this one and this one for sure, because you need to pass the API into certain fashion. You need to register your application. It will pass the token, and that API is to be called into specific fashion in order to use this stuff. Even AI Studio, Azure AI Studio is also like, okay, you can do much more thing over there, but again, like some sort of configuration you need to still do it by your own. Okay, so it's like a more I can say like not tough, but again like each requirement has its own niche, and depending on that we need to choose the appropriate AI framework for ourselves. Okay, and this Copilot Studio is like completely for the low code people. Like, you don't want to learn so many programming and knowledge for it, and everything is done, most of the things via UI based. Obviously at certain point we will face some limitations, but again like they are constantly improving that product on a day-to-day basis. Okay, so this is what it is provide, that okay, what level of other integration you can do it over here. It provide you that option as well, that documentation as well, that okay, if you are using any Azure OpenAI or Cognitive Service API, or if you are using any M365 SDK agents that you have built with a code-based solution, and if you want to leverage it out, you will be able to do that out as well. Read the documentation, so at least that AI integration capability is available over here. So it's just pointing that thing out for you. Okay, so this is what the overall studio tour looks like. Okay, and on here, if you look at this out setting here, you can able to see admin center and session detail and all this information. Okay, but this is at the very high level. Now more information will come up into picture when we start building the agent. We will exactly get to know that what else we can do within the agent. Okay, that's the next part of the exploration. We are going to do it now. Okay, but over here, I would like to pause for a moment, like uh, with respect to this overall studio tour. If anyone has any question or anything around that, maybe just raise up your hand, or maybe just give me at least some reaction that at least so far everyone is following with me. Then I'll start by creating some agent, and we will go in detail screening as well, that what else it is offering to us. Okay, anyone has any question or anything? Okay, I do not see any more raise hand. I can see at least the reaction. So everyone is following with me so far. All good. Perfect. Okay. So now let me start now one of the journey over here. Okay. We'll do the case study later on today's class itself. But first, let me just talk about one important thing over here, that now how this agent creation journey is looking like. Okay. Let me talk about that. So whenever in the Copilot Studio, now still we are doing the tour of the Copilot Studio. Okay, so when you click on this create option, and you have this new agent option. Okay, so when you click on new agent, basically it is showing you this kind of interface to you. Okay, where it will just provide you this kind of native interface where you can start building your agent journey from scratch. Okay, and there are two ways. Always this Copilot Studio offering two ways. One is AI based interface, which means that this kind of chat GPT type of interface where it is asking you the question and you just answer it, and depending on that it will decide that okay, where to fit which information, and you can just have it for yourself. Okay, but what we will do is when we are learning this thing for the very first time, we will just use the actual settings over here. So you will understand the purpose of each setting, and then we will do the second use case, third use case. At that time, we will start leveraging this AI chatbot as well to build up our agent, and we will see the difference as well. That what's the difference with something I'm creating here, or if I'm creating something directly into the configurable option. Okay. So let's leverage this thing out. Okay. So now what I'm doing here is right now I click on the create new agent. Okay. And it just open up this option to me over here. Okay. Let's just click on here, skip to configure option over here. So I'm just clicking on that. And once you do that, it will ask you couple of things to you to create your agent from the scratch. Okay, now let's start by creating our first agent from scratch. And now for that, I would like to take one case study over here. Okay, so let me just open up my case study over here first and show it to you like what we are going to implement over here. Okay, and this file will be uploaded into class 2 after this class 2 and 3 common lab file is there. Okay, all the notes I have already added here, so you don't need to write up anything or remember anything. Okay, always you have recording as well, so files will be uploaded over there, so don't worry about that. Okay, so let's take over with our first case study over here, where we will going to create our first agent for doctor's appointment scheduler. Okay, for some sort of requirement over here. Okay, so what I want to build up over here is for one of the healthcare organization, I want to create one agent who can take the booking of the patient. So let's say they have that chat agent integrated on their website, and if someone want to book a doctor's appointment, usually it will just ask some of the questions to it. Like, let's say for an example, it will first greet them that, okay, hi, I am Care Connect. Maybe the boot name is Care Connect. Like, okay, my name is Care Connect. I can do this is for you. How can I help you? Then you will type that, okay, I have a fever issue. Then it will consider that, okay, the person has a fever issue, so maybe he want to, show, I mean, he want a checkup from the doctor, and for that maybe they want to book an appointment. So what happens is, it will ask the series of questionnaire based on the context you are providing. So when you write hi, it will say you hi, welcome message. Okay, then it will ask you, then you will tell them that, okay, I want to book a doctor appointment. Then it will ask you that, okay, what's the priority of your uh, you know uh, booking, like is it an emergency or non-emergency? Because if it is an emergency, don't require appointment, come directly to the hospital and we will offer you the slot and you can show it to doctor. Because if there is an emergency, you can't wait for the booking, right? So if it is an emergency, you can directly go to that, it just show that message. But if it is not an emergency, it will just show you that, okay, what type of doctor you need. Like, okay, you need general physician or dentist or cardiologist or dermatologist, or different options will be there. It will just show that option. Now if you say that, okay, I just want to do general physician, then what happen here is it will ask some other questions to you that, okay, enter your name or phone number or email address. Okay, and just click on submit. And when you click on submit, what happen here is it will check the record. I mean, it will basically create an entry in your actual database that, okay, this person is requesting for an booking appointment. And as soon as that record is created, you need to send the reference ID to the person so that they can check that when their appointment is being scheduled. Okay, because obviously behind the scene they need to do some activity as well. Like, okay, um, like once the booking is submitted, internal staff need to review that appointment, and maybe they just need to, because human can do anything. I mean, whatever their query or they have selected, maybe that sometimes that is not relevant as well. So maybe they will just follow some internal process and they can just schedule it out depending on some doctor's availability and all, and they just make it into schedule queue. So at least the user should have the reference number, so whenever they come back to the website, and there would be the option in the agent at that time that, okay, check your appointment status. So when you enter that name, you will get to know that, okay, your booking is scheduled on this date with this doctor with this information. Okay, so this is what I'm envisioning at this point with this overall agent development. Okay, now this is just as a one of the case study I'm just talking about. This is the simplest case study. We are not doing so much complications here. Okay, complicated case study, slowly we will get into it. Okay, but this is the first case study I wanted to build up over here. Okay, so how I can think about it, how I can start building around that, what are the base terminology of Copilot Studio I need to understand before I build this whole agent. Let's jump into that and let's try to understand this thing over here. Okay, so this is at the very high level what I am trying to create it. That's what I've explained it over here. Okay, I've written this whole case study over here, what I explained, so no need to worry about writing and all. Okay, now over here, what I'm trying to achieve here is if that case study funda is clear for you, maybe just give me the reactions that at least the use case study description is pretty much clear for you, that what we are trying to build up over here. Okay, maybe just give me the reactions, or maybe if anyone didn't understand at least the definition part, maybe just give me the hands up. Maybe I'm happy to clear it out. Okay, but I can see the reactions, so looks good. Okay, I do not see any more reasons. So now let's start this overall journey of creating our first Care Connect agent from scratch. Okay, for that, what I'm doing here is I'm just making my notes side over here. All right, and now this is where we are starting our agent creation journey, right? We how we started is we just go back here, click on new agent, and we started building the agent here. Okay, now the thing is that you will say me that okay, Dhruvin, before this one, you just gave us whole lecture of best practices of solution environment, right? So where are you going to use that one, right? So yeah, this is where we are going to use that one. So never ever create the new agent directly here, because if you are creating new agent directly here, it will not be inside your solution. It will be outside your solution. It will go by default in your common data service default solution. So what would be the best practice to start with the agent? Let's go to our solution that we have built for ourselves. So I'm just opening my environment solutions that I created, Copilot Studio batch 02. That's day 02. That's what we created, right? So we need to simply open that solution first. Okay, so this is my solution. Let's open this up. Okay, click on new option over here. Okay, and when you click on new option, the very first option available over here is agent option. Okay, click on agent, and there is an option called agent over here. So this is what we are going to start building the things from the scratch, and that agent will be redirecting to the same Copilot Studio, nothing else, but only the entry point will be from your solution. So all the artifacts that you are creating within that agent will be in this solution, so it will be easy on the later stage to deploy it from one environment to another environment. Okay, so what I'm doing here is I'm clicking on agent, clicking here. Let's click on that. And as soon as you click on that, it will redirect you to this Copilot Studio page. And it will again open up the similar interface that you are talking about here. Okay, so this will provide you this interface where you can write some prompt and create the agent. But we know what type of agent I want to create, right? So we will simply use the skip to configure option, as this is the first class. Later on, we will use this option, but right now let's use skip to configure option. As soon as you do that, you need to configure a couple of things. Number one thing is language. In which language you want this Copilot Studio to answer, Copilot agent to answer. Right now, there are many different languages available over here. You can see the different language options over here. Around, you can see here 59 to 60 different languages are there. Okay, Chinese, I mean, this is like a Czech Republic, Dutch language, English, Hindi, German, okay, Turkish, Arabic, different languages are available over here. You can just pick up any language over here. Okay, you can create multilingual agent as well, which supports multiple language. But for that, you just need to wait for session number 11 or 12. At that time, how to do that, we'll talk about in the later. But right now, what would be the primary agent language that we need to configure here? And I'm selecting English at this point. Click on save. And remember one thing, once you choose the language, you cannot be able to change this out. So choose your language wisely when you are setting up for the first time. Click on save, and it has set up this English as a language for you. Okay. Second thing is that what would be the name of your agent? That's something you need to provide over here. It can be any friendly name, right? Now, when you look at the Amazon or Prime Video, they are having that chat agent's name, right? They provide some like a human name, like SBI has the agent called Sita. It's inspired from Ramayana. So when you open the chatbot, it will say, "Hi, this is Sita. How can I help you?" Okay, or many times some website has some name like, "Hi, I'm Jack. How can I help you?" Or sometimes some of the person has some different names depending on their thought process. Okay, so here I'm providing very generic name. I'm providing my agent name as Care Connect. Okay, or maybe if you think that you want to provide your own name, you can provide that as well. So I'm just providing the name of my agent as Care Connect. Okay, now there is a different another option here. You can change any icon, so it's like a profile picture kind of thing for this agent. So I'm not uploading any picture at this point, but if you want, you can upload it out, but it will be 30 KB size maximum. Okay, I'm not doing at this point anything. Later on, we will do it. Okay. Now, description. This is very important thing, guys. Okay. Now, whenever you are working with this AI projects, any AI projects, generally in Power Apps, Power Automate, when we are working, right, and some things are asking for description and all, we are not writing a lot into description, but let me tell you, in AI Copilot Studio kind of thing, you know this description and instructions are the key important part. Okay, because this is what telling your agent that what kind of activity it need to perform over here. Okay, so first of all, in description you just need to use your own word to describe what your agent should help with, including your audience and your end goal, like what you want to do. Just think in a very natural language, okay, and provide that instruction, or I mean, provide that description over here. Okay, so let's say for an example, into this particular case, I just want to provide some description that, okay, this Care Connect is something which bridges the gap between you and your healthcare provider with seamless appointment booking. And you can just describe it later. It just help patients to make their booking with a easy fashion, and they can check the booking status and all with this particular agent. Okay, what the goal of this agent? Okay, we just need to provide that over here. So I'm just start typing few things over here. Okay, and again, you can use your own imagination. There is no such principle that you should always write this or you should always write this. Okay, you can provide your own think of way of writing the description. Sometimes what we are doing is this instruction description is very important. When you will realize it, when we are doing some sort of autonomous agent from class number 7 8, okay, this will become like a key. Sometimes if your agent is unable to follow the instruction, you need to tweak the instruction, you need to change the language, you need to change the tone. So it's completely based on the natural language. Okay, so what I'm providing here as a description, it's simple. I'm just providing over here that, okay, Care Connect bridges the gap between you and your healthcare provider with seamless appointment booking. I'm just writing one more line over here. Patient can book the appointment and check their appointment status easily using Care Connect. Okay, if there are any spelling mistakes, you can just correct it out, or it can understand easily as well. Okay, so I'm just providing a little bit introduction and a description that what this agent is all about. Okay, now next step is instruction. Okay, now what is instruction? Let me tell you that simple example. What is instruction? When you hire any servant, right? Or when, let's say for an example, in company you are hiring some employee, right? On day one, HR is giving lots of instruction to them, right? That how to behave, how organization policies are there, right? When you are joining this training program on the day one, right? I give you lots of instruction on day one, right? Okay, like, okay, when you join the training program, maybe all the sessions are being recorded. Do not use any AI platform to connect, or maybe unmute yourself during the meeting, and maybe I provided some instruction, right? Same way, like some employees joining HR is saying that, okay, respect everyone, do not use any abusive language, do not uh, do not take a leave without a prior notice, or there are certain set of rule that, okay, if you need 5 days of holiday, you need to approve it before 15 days or 20 days. Okay, and if there are any timeline, you need to follow this out. If you are having any dress code, you need to follow that. If you are in the marketing, you need to uh, a client call should be happen from this room, and do not take photograph on this sensitive area of the office, right? They are providing this kind of instruction, so that's how this person is behaving according to it, right? Based on that instruction. Same way in AI as well, you need to direct your agent, you need to guide some sort of rule to it, that okay, how to behave, otherwise it misbehave as well. Okay, now that instruction is going in underneath this particular section. It's like a more like a behavior of the agent. Okay, now when you are hiring any servant to your house, right? In your house there are some rules that, okay, that servant need to do the dusting into this fashion, they need to change the water after swapping into one room, or maybe they always need to follow a specific kind of liquid while they are washing and all, right? Your mother and your maybe any one of your family member is always teaching them on day one, right? They are giving them an instruction. And why they are giving? Because if you give the proper instruction, they will work properly according to that. If you not provide any instruction, they'll do whatever is there in their mind, right? Now, with this agent as well, the same behavior is there. If you do not provide any instruction, it will just behave it like, the way it should behave with a large language model. Okay, so here you need to be very specific. So here, what kind of instruction I will provide? I'll provide some sort of instruction to my agents that, okay, you need to act as a personal secretary of healthcare provider to take booking from the patient, as well as you need to use the polite language and friendly language. You do not need to use any kind of harsh language. Okay, that's something I want to provide as an instruction. So I'm typing this now. So I'm just providing here this instruction. You need to act as a personal secretary of healthcare provider to take the booking from the patient. You need to use friendly tone to answer the user query. Never use any harsh words. Okay, so I'm just making this small instruction at this point because it's not like a too big system that I need to provide too many instruction. Okay, so this is like a key. Okay, now just let me just tell you some more context around this instruction section. Okay, sometimes what happens is in the future classes when we go to the class number 5, 6, 7, 8, right? At the time, what would be happen? We will create very complex agent which will read the email from the Outlook. It will analyze the sentiment of the email, then it will decide that, okay, what type of reply I need to send to the user, right? At the time, all these sequences we need to provide in a specific format here in the instruction section, so that it will follow in a sequence and it will do not miss any step. That is how we need to just like direct our agent. All right, so instruction is all about that. This section is very, very important. Why we are going into very slow? Because this is our first agent and I'm going to explain each significance of each of this section. Okay, and now you can see here, as soon as you write this out over here, on the right hand side over here, it just making this tick boxes as well, that okay, this is what you are providing as an instruction, this is what you are providing as a description, and this is what your name of the agent. Okay, next, we are having one more option called suggested prompt option. Okay, now what is this option? Okay, let me tell you that. So suggested prompt means what? When you are going with any chat GPT, or if you are going into Canva or any AI tool in the market, right? So generally what happen here is when you look at the chatbot, right? most of the time looking at the chatbot, people are getting confused, right? What to do. So let's say if I'm going here, like even in the, let's take an example of this agent, right? Copilot Studio is a Microsoft product. They are having this on the home page, right? So to guide the user, they are having this kind of tags available. So when you click on tags, it will automatically add this kind of prompt over here for you. You don't need to even type the prompt. That's how user will know that, okay, if I type this thing, this chatbot may be answer into that fashion. Right. So what this is going to be do for you, suggested prompt is similar like this. This, whatever you see here, here and here, this is your customized prompt. This is prompt. So what is prompt in the world of AI? What input that you are providing, this is called as your prompt. If I again explain you in a very simple world, in the case of chat gpt, so this is my chat gpt. Okay, now over here, if I'm asking that, okay, what is Okta authentication? Okay, so what happens is when I ask this question, what this is called? This is called as my prompt, and based on this prompt, it is answering me out. Okay, so prompt, this is called as a prompt engineering in the world of AI. So what kind of language you are using in your AI to ask the question, and depending on that, AI will give the answer. Let me just show you one of some of my uh, chats over here, right? So let's say for an example, today I had one task that I need to do some sort of modification in one of my documentation. So what I did here is I just pasted this documentation part here, and I just asked that, okay, I want to make it better. How can I do that? So it just make it better. Then I just ask some more questions to it, as well as, uh, over here, like I had earlier two sections. I want to combine into one and want it to be like more easily able to understand for the user. So I just provided this prompt and it just make the life easier. So this is called what is called is prompt, right? So the exact same thing here as well. Like let's say for an example, when the end user is communicating to your agent for the very first time, and if you want to suggest some prompt to them that, okay, what type of questions you can ask to your agent, that's something you can supply into suggested prompt. And it's not always necessary to configure from the beginning itself. You can configure on the later part as well. It's not like a uh, showstopper over here. Okay, but here we will search, just suggest some prompt over here. Okay, and it is also showing you the description that suggests the way of starting conversation of Teams and M365 channel. So when you are deploying into Teams or M365, this suggested prompt will be available for the user. So when they click on that, they don't need to type whole sentence, and it can do that activity for them. Okay, I'm adding some prompts here that, okay, I want to provide one prompt over here that book uh book an appointment as a title. Okay, and I can just provide here that help me to schedule an appointment with doctor. Okay, prompt and title, you can supply it out. Okay, click on save. It will save that prompt. So it will show this prompt over here. When you click on edit, and if you want to add one more prompt over here, you can just add here. Like I'm adding one more thing. Like, okay, check the appointment status. Okay, want to check the booking appointment status. Okay, it's not something that you need to write exact prompt like me. Okay, it's a human language. It's differ from me and differ for you. Okay, whichever you think which is right for you, just add here. Okay, and it shows the suggested prompt over here to you. Okay, so these are four configuration. Okay, then next is knowledge. Now what is knowledge? We will talk about in a while. But now at this point, you are ready with the base stuff. Click on create option over here, and this will start setting up your agent over here, and this is how you are setting up your first Copilot agent from scratch. Okay, and it's being set up, and this is how it looks like. It will take some sort of time in order to set up for this overall uh, Copilot agent for you. And you can see here the publish button is disabled at this point. Okay, Why? Because it's still configuring this for you. Okay, let's wait for few minutes in order to process this thing completely and load this page completely for you. Okay, if it's not load for few seconds, maybe you can just use this URL refresh option as well, so that at least your page is refreshed and you will see that okay, whether your chatbot or agent is created successfully or not. Okay, so let it to be. It's still not created 100% because it's still loading, will take some time. Let it to be. Okay, will take some moments in order to create this out. While it is creating, let me start at least explaining you the different things which are available as a part of your Copilot agent over here. So we set up our first Care Connect agent. Here you can see the description, what this agent is doing. Apart from that, there are some other options as well, which I'm going to explain you on the later part when we are actually start doing some more AI capability into the agent and once we finish our basics. Okay, but this is how it looks like. Okay, and right now you can see that still edit button is disabled. So in background, still some processes are going to happen, which is creating this agent. Okay, so agent creation usually taking some time in order to set up it completely out for you. Okay, so let it to be create in the background. Meantime, let's explore these other tabs which it has. Okay, so the first tab it has here is the knowledge source tab. Now, what is knowledge source over here? Let me explain you that. Sometimes you have a need that you need the data from your knowledge source, which means that you have some documents for HR policies, you have some documents for leave policies, you are having some documents for some sort of machine architecture, right? And you want to use that knowledge to train this agent. So when I'm asking any question, it will go into that document, find the answer, and give it in the natural language. At that time, you can use this knowledge source option. Okay. When you click on knowledge source option over here, you are having multiple option to connect multiple knowledge sources. Okay. You can connect 20 knowledge sources in one agent. Okay. 20 different knowledge sources you can connect in one agent. Okay. Now, what are different options for the knowledge sources? Let me tell you. If you are having any public facing website and you want your agent should query your public facing website and answer it out, public website also available as a knowledge source. So let's say my company has this website called www.powerplatformtrainings.com. Okay, now what happened here is in this website I have like a different training programs mentioned over here. Okay, now let's say for an example I'm picking up this URL and if I'm configuring as a public website that knowledge source, now what happened here is if any person is asking to this agent that okay, tell me about the Power Apps course fee or tell me the when the Copilot Studio training program is starting, so what it will do is it simply going to this public facing interface endpoint over here. It will try to find out the answer from this whole website which is available over here and it will try to give you answer from it. Okay, so this is where public facing website as a knowledge will come up into picture. Okay, apart from that, let's say if you're not having public facing website and let's say for an example if you are having SharePoint where some of your files are uploaded, you can use that as well. Even if you want to upload any file, static file into your OneDrive, you can do that as well. Okay, even let's say you don't have OneDrive or SharePoint or maybe in your Windows computer you have some file and you want to simply upload it and use it out, you can simply use this upload file option over here and it will use that file as a knowledge source over here. Okay, right now what kind of file it is supporting, what extensions are supporting, which we will talk about on the later session. Okay, but it offers that. Apart from that, it also support the databases as a knowledge source. So if you connect Dataverse table or if you want to connect any Azure AI search or Dynamics 365 modules or Salesforce or ServiceNow or Azure SQL, you can connect as a knowledge source. All these examples we are going to cover up into upcoming case studies and use cases. But this is I'm just explaining at the very high level that you can connect those data sources and those sources for your knowledge so that your agent will be able to answer from it. Okay, if you go to the advanced, there are some more options also available, and Microsoft is constantly improving this a lot. So more and more knowledge sources will be added in the future for this overall development. Okay, so this is knowledge sources. Okay, now this publish button is visible and you can see that agent is also created. I can see the edit icon as well. It takes some time, right? But it created it out. Okay, now first, we explore the knowledge. What is knowledge? We know that you can add data, file, or other resources to inform and improve AI generated responses. So basically, it's a brain. What knowledge you want to supply to your agent, it come up underneath this section. Okay. Then tool section is there. Okay. So overall to this agent, let's say for an example, if you want to perform any action, okay, earlier this option tool option was called as in January month this year, it was called as an action, and now they renamed this word as a tool. Okay, so don't get yourself confused. So it's like, okay, what activity your agent need to do here, that's something you can configure it from here. Okay, so let's say for an example, if you are connecting Outlook, and maybe if you want to send an email to someone, you can just use any appropriate action from here. Or let's say for an example, if you just want to connect your Microsoft Teams or SharePoint or similar, like so many different connectors also available over here. Okay, so it's like what activity it need to do, it should showing you this option over here. Okay, now let me tell you here, like in this case study, how we are using this action. So we have a scenario that we need to book a schedule appointment for the patient, right? So that appointment we will store into Dataverse table. So to create an entry into Dataverse table, we need something, right? That in agent user will type something, and that response to be go into our data source and create an entry. And in response, I want to send the reference ID to the person, right? So how we can do that? So for that, we need to use this tool. So okay, I want to use Dataverse, right? So I will search over here for my Dataverse. Okay, and when you search for the Dataverse, it will show you the different option, different stuff over here, that okay, Dataverse, what you want to do here, that add a row into that selected environment, or you want to update any record, or what action you want to do it. Okay, so you can choose the appropriate one and do that thing over there. So at the time you need to use this tool option over there. Okay, tool can be anything. You can create the out of the box connector. You can connect any flow. If you are having any Power Automate flow, and if you want to integrate it within that, you can do that. If you want to connect any MCP protocol, MCP server, model context protocol, which is again my dedicated topic, you can do that as well. Okay, flow, connector, and out of the box connector. Many different options are available over here. Okay. So this is what it is providing as a tool or action inside the world of Copilot Studio. And always there are some learn more links available. If you want to read some documentation around that, you can always go over here and read it out if you want. Okay, obviously, practically we are going to do it. Don't spend too much time on the documentation, because it's sometimes very difficult to read everything, and sometimes you get yourself confused, because in the practical world of the IT, we just need to be more practical rather than go into too much detail about the documentation. Okay, but this is how it looks like. Next, we are having the agents option over here. This is again another very cool feature that they have introduced over here. Okay, now what is this? Let me talk about that a little bit. So they will work together to complete your workflow. Now what do we mean by that? Okay, when you click on add an agent, what it will do, let's say for an example, sometimes you are creating multiple agent, one agent for the balance checker, one agent for booking system, one agent to help the citizens, right? Now you want to call one agent from another agent, that okay, I'm on the citizen uh, agent. Okay, and now I need some sort of help from my booking and doctor appointment. So at the time I want to call that agent from that same interface. How can I do that? For that, this option is available. This is again a very new option, and it come up as a part of preview at this point. And of course, we are having the case study around that as well in class number 12, 13. So we'll talk about that in detail during that particular time. But over here, agent to agent communication. It is useful for that purpose. One agent can call another agent and respond it according to it. So that's something we are going to explore over here with this particular option and see the capability around that. Okay, so this is agent option. Next, we are having topic option. Now, this is the heart for any particular Copilot Studio chatbot or Copilot Studio agent. Now, what is topic? Let me talk about that. Again, it's a popular interview question as well, that what are the different type of topics available in the Copilot Studio. So mainly two types of topics are available. Number one is system generated topic and custom topic. Now, what do we mean by this topic? Let me just give you at a very high level idea around that. Okay, so topic is nothing but it is a series of questionnaires which your agent need to follow in a sequence to get the input from your end user and execute into that fashion. Okay, now just imagine our case study, right? By default, when you are having your agent for the first time, right, it will just show you this kind of message always. Hi, I'm Care Connect, your virtual assistant. Just so you are aware, I'm sometimes use AI to answer your question. If you provided a website during the creation asking me about it, blah blah blah, this kind of instruction it is providing. And maybe let's say if I'm saying that good morning here, okay, to my agent, okay, it will respond to you automatically that hello, how may I help you today, right? So how does it know that okay, Dhruvin has written good morning, that I need to respond this message? Okay, or maybe let's say for an example, I'm just writing over here hi. Okay, how does it know that I need to respond this message over here, right? So that responsibility is done by a topic. So whatever you are typing, based on that, what series of questionnaires I need to execute, it fall under the topic. So what topic is doing is based on this prompt, it will make a decision that what part I need to execute. Okay, let's say here I'm writing here that by. Okay, and when you write by, it will just ask you that would you like to end your conversation? Yes or no. You say yes, then it will say that okay, did that answer your question? Feedback, it is asking the feedback, right? You say yes, and it will ask you for the rating, that how much rating you are giving to it. Okay, and it just finish up your overall conversation, right? So how this entire thing is handled over here. Okay, so there are so many topics out of the box created itself when you are setting your first Copilot agent from scratch. And those topics are system generated topics. Okay, so there are so many different system generated topics available in the Copilot Studio world. Now, let me talk about that at a very high level. Okay, so basically, what happened here is first of all, let me talk about that. Okay, how to start thinking about what is topic. Okay, so let's say for an example, here, in this particular case study, I want to implement this whole use case for myself that, okay, I want to make an appointment. So I have this series of questions that, okay, first it will be greeting message. Shall we begin? Yes. Then what type of doctor you want? So you are asking the doctor type first. Once you select the doctor type, it will ask you that, okay, is it emergency or not? If you select yes or no, then it will go to the next part, that when would you like to have your appointment? You need to enter a date for it. Okay. And then you are asking some basic question that what's your name, phone number and email, and you submit it. And when you submit it, it will say you that congratulations, the ticket has been created successfully, right? So it will be like this complete series of questionnaires which I need to execute. So in this case, I am thinking in a fashion that my topic will be the custom topic, that if I'm searching here in my chatbot that okay, book an appointment, it should start this particular conversation from the overall chatbot. So that is what is defined by the topic. Okay, now in Copilot Agent, these all the system generated topic are available when it is set up for the first time, and it is very, very important, guys. Okay, and what are those system generated topic? Now let's talk about that. So first is conversation start topic. Okay, now what is this? If you want to know what's the purpose of that, hover on this one. and it will give you the description. So this is this system topic triggers when the agent receive an activity indicating the beginning of a new conversation. If you do not want the agent to initiate this conversation, disable this topic. Means the option is available, you want to use it or not. But you cannot be able to delete this out. You can disable it out. Okay. So what it is saying that conversation start means, you know, this agent is loaded for the first time, and when it is showing this greeting message, it is coming from this topic, conversation start topic. And if you want to see in the detail what is that, click on that. Okay, and this is what it is showing to you over here, that on conversation start, when you look at this edit property, okay, over here it is showing this whole message to you. Hello, I am this bot name, a virtual assistant, just to be aware. So this whole message that you can see here, it is coming from here. Okay, now if you want to customize it, you can do it. Hello, I am this, your virtual assistant, and I will change the message a little bit. I am here to help you for the booking of your appointment. You can also check the status of your booking here. Perfect. You change the message, save it over here. So there is a save option available over here. Save it. And now what happened here is when you just restart this thing out, by default, it will show this new message that you have configured. Hello, I'm Care Connect, and what this is what you can do. So conversation start means when your conversation is starting, by default, what message is to be printed, it can come up over here. Okay. Apart from that, it has so many other things as well, which again later on we will go into too much detail when we actually start building the thing, like conversational boosting. Okay, now what it will do, you know, just click on here to know the context. So you know what happened is sometimes you are asking some sort of questions which is not fed into the system, or maybe system is unable to answer the question. At the time it will just go to the conversational boosting topic. It will call this topic, and what this topic is actually doing behind the scene, you can see it over here, that okay, it look at the generative AI answer using the natural language. Okay, and maybe it will just end your current topic over here at this point. Okay, so this is conversational boosting topic. Then there is end of conversation topic, which is like just ending your conversation. And the way we are asking that, okay, bye, when you say bye, it is just asking that, okay, what's the rating and everything. So these all the questions are configured over here. Okay, it is doing that whole activity for you. You don't need to do that entire thing for you. Okay, then there is one escalate topic available. So sometimes what happen here is, like many agents you have seen that you know you are typing something and it is unable to answer, and when you want to talk to your human agent, or maybe let's say I'm just talking about here, talk to agent. Okay, it will simply trigger this particular topic, and it is just escalating to the representative, which are configured behind the scene. So again, behind the scene there is a dynamics omni channel we need to configure if we want to connect human system as well behind the scene of this agent. Okay, so it will just escalate your request. So escalate topic available. Then fallback topic. So fallback is what, again, like a unknown. So if there are any unknown topic, it will again going into fallback, and it will try to retry to asking the question again and again to you. So basically fallback is trying to do that thing. Okay, multiple topic match topic, which means that, okay, sometimes what happen is you are asking some question and it's a AI based system, right? So sometimes it getting confused that, okay, whether I need to call this topic or this topic. At the time it will just trigger this one, that I'm confused, help me to decide that, okay, what exactly you want. It will ask you some more cross question around that. Okay, so at the time it will trigger this system topic, multiple topic match. Okay, then on error, if there are any errors, by default it will trigger this topic. Okay, reset conversation. So if you just want to reset, so let's say I'm clicking on this reset button. So it just resetting this whole conversation for you. So resetting means it just reset your conversation. And sign in, again, like sign in is something like when we are actually publishing this agent, at the time if sometimes username password is required in order to access the data or something, it just have the signing prompt as well. Okay, so these are like a system generated topic which are available by default when you are creating your agent for the very first time. How many system generated topics available? 9 system generated topics are available, and it has its own unique flavor when they are added over here. Okay, then you are having some custom topic as well available. So again, 4 custom topic out of the box created when you are going for the very first time over here. Okay, so what are those topic? Goodbye topic, greeting topic, start over topic, and thank you topic. Okay, now what is this doing? Okay, so let's say whenever I'm writing bye, right, how do I know what to call? So you are having goodbye. Okay, and when you do goodbye, it is asking you, would you like to end our conversation, yes or no? And when you say yes, it will just calling another topic, that end of conversation, which is system topic. And otherwise you will say no, then it is still listening, right? So what it is doing, it is done by this one. Okay, and again, like every topic has its first element as a trigger. Okay, like what kind of input you are providing over here, based on that it will make a decision whether I need to call this topic or I need to call another topic. So trigger is very, very important in the case of topic. So let's say when I'm saying bye, you know, it is just triggering my goodbye topic over here, and it just asks the exact same question that we are having here. Like, would you like to end this conversation? If you say no, it will just go to this condition section over here, and it will say that, okay, go ahead, I'm still listening. If you want to change it out, you can still change it out, but this is how it behaves, right? Same way, greeting. So when you look at greeting topic, you can write any kind of thing like that. So whenever I'm saying hi, right, it is just asking me like, how can I help you today? If you want to change something apart from it, you can change it out as well. So this is like your greeting topic. Start over topic. So let's say I'm just saying that restart or start again. So it will start this whole series again. Okay, and when you say last goodbye, a thank you or something like that, it will just say you are welcome, right? So this kind of topics are being out of the box available over here. Now when we are doing our own project development, we need to write our own topic set over here. Okay, now I want to book the whole meeting, so obviously I need to enter each question one by one, that okay, uh you know first, a user can type anything, that I have fever problem, or I have tooth problem, or I have heart disease, or maybe I have a skin problem, right? Then AI should be enough capable to understand that, okay, from here he want to start that booking process, right? So we need to start creating our own custom topic journey over here. But we will start that journey in the next class, where we will start creating our own custom topic from scratch. And we will see what kind of thing you can do here. You can add questions, you can add answer, you can create your entities, you can add adaptive cards. So many things you will be able to manage it out over there. Okay, so that's something we will continue in the next class onwards. But this is at least at the tool level, we just take this overall theoretical idea that what exactly it is offering and what level of things you can do it over here. Okay, so that's what I wanted to at least cover up for today's class. In next class, we will start in detail that whole topic creation and testing and prompting and those things in too much detail. Okay, so now opening the stage for Q&A. If anyone has any question, I'm happy to answer. Otherwise, we are good to wrap up. So the stage is open for Q&A. I can see first raise hand from Javid. You have question?
Yes, Druvin. Druvin, can you just explain the fallback? I missed this about a bit. I
Which
think
one?
it was on
Sorry.
topic for fallback. It was in topics, I
Fallback.
believe.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay. So the fallback topic is, if I open this up fallback topic, what happen here is, let's say for an example, if you are if your chatbot is asking you a question that please enter your email address, okay? And let's say you are trying to enter your email address, but let's say if you are not answering it into proper fashion, your proper email address, validation, okay? Then it will ask you again, okay, give me your email address. It will ask you again, give me the email address. So this fallback is following three times. It will ask you three times over here. Until three times, if you are unable to answer it out, it just escalate that. Sorry, I'm unable to answer you, or maybe I'm not able to understand you. So this is called as a fallback. Means it will retry your question three times, but it's still unable to understand somehow. Then at least at the front end level, it will show you that sorry, I'm not able to understand this out. Do you want to escalate this out? So, this is how it is designed for. Hope you get some clarity around that.
Yes, but then Druvin, right now it is not using AI. Right now it is just like kind of procedural. We are just
Yeah, just
directing
wait
it.
for AI. Yeah, just wait for AI. It's not right now. The thing is that this Copilot Studio, right? It was in this Microsoft products in 2020. Okay, at the time there was not AI. At the time, this was the concept like trigger and topic, right? Now this topic is also more automated. You cannot expect that it can create all the topics, by AI. We can do that as well. Now that capability is also available, which we are going to leverage into next class. But right now, yes, so far we didn't use any AI apart from creating a agent over here. And again, like when you're typing any words over here, you know in trigger phrases over here, it's predefined word, but apart from that, if you use any natural language, it is also understand that. So technically behind the scene it uses the AI, but by visible eye we cannot be able to see it right now. Okay, but yeah, base framework right now, the way at this point we are not using any AI drastically at this point. For that, we need to enable couple of things over here in the agent, which I'm going to talk about probably from fourth or fifth class onwards, where we will go into detail. So with AI, without AI, how this entire agent structure will work, we need to understand every step of the part. Okay,
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Thank you, Druvin.
perfect. All right, next I can see raise hand from Raj. You have a question?
Yeah, Dhruvan. Is agentic AI and agent flow is like similar or like
Same is
totally
it is
different?
the same name. Someone is called as a agent flow, or someone is calling as agentic AI. Okay, this is another definition. It's not like related to the agent flow. It's like agentic AI means you are building this agent which is powered by AI. So
Mhm.
sometimes people are using this terminology that are you using any agentic AI technology in your project or something? So this agentic AI is the word useful for agent. It's an alternate word for that, not for
Mhm.
agent flow. Okay.
So if it is different, then if with this agent flows, can we connect to any LLMs or anything, or is not possible?
What kind of
Any
agent
any
flow?
LLMs like any like ChatGPT model or DeepSeek model or any other models?
No.
Can we connect?
This is different. This is different. This agent flow is more for the autonomous agent and more for your automation process. Okay. And over here, like the way you are talking about large language model selection process, right? So this is like it is very limited here. You can see here right now it is showing you that your response model is GPT-4o, which is your default response model over here. Here you can make some edits which we can look at into the future part of the thing if you want to utilize. But
Mhm.
Microsoft by default with the Copilot Studio doesn't allow any third party large language model, because the way it is licensed is if you want to use some DeepSeek or other model, use the Azure AI because it has more power over there. Like you can connect any other large language model over there. But here it will be the limited. But yeah, they are planning to integrate more and more over here. But right now, mostly the GPT models are supported over here in Copilot Studio, which again I'm going to talk about in the future sessions. Okay,
Okay, thank you.
perfect. All right, I can see raise hand from Nilesh.
Yeah, hi, Ruben. So
Yep.
I saw that we entered a URL copilotstudio.microsoft.com, but I just
Yes.
want just as a curiosity, just wanted to check why it is redirecting to preview
Yeah, because we, yeah,
copilotstudio.microsoft.com.
yeah, let me just tell you. It is because of, we created the preview environment. Okay. And the thing is that generally the URL is copilotstudio.microsoft.com itself. Generally, when we create the early release tenant, early release environment, you are having the more capability. So they are having preview word enabled over here. And generally, when it is preview, you will be having more features available over here. Okay,
Okay.
while it is just a normal environment, at the time it will be just like a copilotstudio.microsoft.com. And even when you hit enter over here with this fashion, let me just see, just a minute.
So you're
Okay,
saying we have created a developer account, that's why it is
it's
redirected to
not like
preview.
that. Just a minute. Let me
Okay.
just check this
Okay.
one thing before I
Yeah.
answer this thing out for you, because
Okay.
this is what another thing I discovered. Copilot. Let me. This is my another tenant. Let me just
Yeah. Okay.
check this out quickly. Where it is redirecting, it is for everyone. No, see here it is just going into copilotstudio.microsoft.com.
Mhm.
I believe only one thing, just let it to be open.
Mhm.
Because our environment type was early release environment. That's the reason.
Okay.
Uh, let's say here I'm on my default environment, still see URL is the same. Let's say I'm opening any
Okay.
another one here, maybe my existing batch one.
Okay.
Again, it's not early release one probably. Yeah, it is early release one. So it's showing preview one, right? So what happened here is when you are setting up the environment and we enable this option, get features
Get
early.
new feature early,
That
correct.
that's why it is considered that okay, you are
Okay.
interested to utilize the latest. If this
Okay.
switch is turned off for that environment, it will not show you the preview.
Okay.
So I
Okay.
mean, all
That's
the latest feature you will be able to access via this one.
okay.
Okay,
Okay. Okay. Got it. Thanks.
perfect. I can see one question in the chat window. What is the difference between the developing an agent using Copilot Studio and using the Python or custom code? Which one is more efficient? Of course, the Python one is more efficient for sure, 100%, because Python one has more capability. You can have more configuration over there for yourself. Copilot Studio and these low code products can help you at a certain level. But let's say for an example, if you have a very complex use case you are targeting on, because this entire Copilot Studio are depending on the large language model. So behind the scene, your base model is still GPT or whatever large language model is that, based on that it will answer you it out, right? While if you are going with a complete custom development of your models, right, you have that power in your hand. Python is the most popular AI programming language, which is like providing you much more flexibility that okay, if you are having very requirement that sometimes you have seen some application where you take the photo and if there is a dent at the specific part of the product and you want to carefully identify that, at that time with this Copilot Studio you will not get a better result. For that, always you need to use some sort of code based Copilot into the base. This is where it is useful for more business application side of things. Okay, if your purpose is more computer vision, more in-depth analysis, at the time this model will not help you. This is Copilot Studio is for business application. So any business application type of automation, autonomous agents, MCP connections, that's all something you can develop it over here. But if you're too much into machine learning, if you're too much into defect detection, if you're too much into computer vision, at that time you need to go with a custom Python-based scripting or Python-based model in order to build this thing. This at the time this will not help you a lot. Hope that will answer your question, Naresh. Okay, I can see raise hand from Rashmi.
Yeah, hi Rubin.
Yes.
My question is why custom topics inside this agent are created differently, like means greetings, then thanks, then goodbye. I'm not getting that topic.
So, you mean your question is why these custom topics are here, right? As a
Yeah,
custom topic, correct? Not as a
yes,
system topic, correct? That's
yeah.
that's That's what your question. So look, this is like by design, honestly, because what happened here is like sometimes the thing is that Microsoft is just making the life easier for the developer. Now in this system, okay, so what happened here is they have provided this instruction over here that system topics are necessary, which means that you need to have it, okay, to help your agent
Mm-hmm.
to run effectively. Without them your agent may not work as intended. You can't delete the system topic, okay, this is the warning that they are providing. Now what happened here is like this custom topic that you are able to see here, right, this is not a showstopper. Let's say for an example, if goodbye topic is not there or greeting topic is not there, it's not harming anything over here for your development, okay, although both the things you can customize the way you want, but the thing is that they are necessary, that okay, when you are building something you don't need to spend lots of time on your development for this system defined topic as well as few out of the box 3 4 topics, okay, that's why they come up over here. All right, but let's say if any one of this you don't want to use it and you want to build completely custom for you can do it that as well. But at least for system topic, if you look at some of the system topic, when you open this up, it is doing so much complex things over here behind the scene. So that's why they are saying that okay, this is based on lots of research for from most of the agents. We develop this predefined topics. Just use it in your agent, so you don't need to do lots of hard work in order to happen this out. That's the reason we are having this as a system topic, and custom topics are like this is not harming a lot, or maybe even if you turn it off or maybe if you are not using it out, it will not a showstopper for your app. So that's why they come up as a custom topic over here. Okay, hope that is giving you the clarity, Rashmi.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, understood. One more question. It is
Yes.
based on, licenses. So if the organization having, more employees, 3,000 or 5,000 employees, then how we will, organization assign the licenses to each employees?
So it's not by each employee, Rashmi. I have a
Mm-hmm.
dedicated session on that. I think fourth or fifth session. We'll talk about the whole licensing model, that if you build this now, you are deploying at the organization level, what license you require. It's not by user, it's by message, which means that let's say if you are writing any message, how many message users are asking, based on that transaction it is charging. It's
Mm-hmm.
not like per user type. Okay, just to give you a short answer, but what exactly it is, how it is calculating, how this whole calculator work, we will talk about into upcoming class, so just wait for that. Okay.
Okay, okay. And one more, then, how will assign for developers and users?
Yeah, so developers, again, like this whole licensing is all about like at the enterprise level, there is one pack you need to purchase. If there are
Mm-hmm.
developers, you need to assign one free license to them. It is coming as a package itself, that whole purchasing of Copilot Studio. Okay, so again, I'll show you the exact process, that exactly what you need to do for that. So just wait for 1 or 2 session. We'll go into that level of detailing as well. Okay,
Oh, okay, okay. Thank you, Durvin.
perfect. All right, I can see one question in the chat window from Johannes. Is it possible to add an existing Copilot Studio board to a solution? Yes, you can add that. I'll show you that process. It's fairly very simple. Simply, you need to go to the solution, add existing, and go here into agent. Click on that. It will show your existing agent that you have added outside the solution, and just add it over here, and it will just add that whole agent over there. Hope that answers you. Sure. Just use this option, add existing one to the solution. So you can able to do that out. Okay, perfect. All right. I do not see any more raise hand at this point. So yeah, thank you so much everyone for attending. And in next class, we will continue this use case with some more advanced topics. So yeah, stay tuned for Friday class then. All right. Have a great evening ahead. Goodbye, everyone.
Yeah.
Thank
Hey,
you.
sorry. Hey,
Yes,
Drubin. Sorry. Yeah.
Dhruvin.
Uh,
yes, yes.
so can I continue or shall I
Yeah,
give
yeah,
this off?
please, please. No,
Yeah,
no, no, please
fine.
go ahead.
Yeah. So, Dhruvin, you just mentioned about Azure. Someone asked this question, right? Like,
Yes.
if you want to include some other third party search bots or something like that. So we need to go with Azure. You mentioned, right? So is it Azure AI Foundry you just talked about, or
Yes, yes,
oh,
yes.
okay.
Azure AI Foundry is there. Apart from that, there are some Python-based framework is also there. I mean, it's
Mhm.
non-Microsoft product. So
Mhm.
depending on the need, we need to use it out. Azure AI Foundry, I love that product because it has more capability than Copilot Studio at least, and
Uh-huh.
you can use multiple things over there. So again, it's an interesting one. This is again very niche product, and again, like over here, like you need to use some sort of code knowledge you require because not everything is low code there. Like say if you want to uh, connect your connectors and all, sometimes you need to use some sort of API endpoint and all. So for low code programmer, it's little bit difficult sometimes, but rest of the things are similar which you can use. So if you tell me to pick up the product like Copilot Studio versus Azure AI Foundry. So my choice is okay. If I'm into Power Platform space, if my requirement is not too complex, although we can achieve complex requirement as well with the Copilot
Yeah,
Studio, but you know, if there is a very niche need where I need to use specific model, like I need to use only DeepSeek, right? Let's say because DeepSeek provide lots of, cost wise it is cheaper.
yeah.
Maybe at that time I will choose the Foundry. But again, in
Okay.
Foundry, there are lots of things like even deployment is also something which is not easy like this one. The way we are having here, like publishing is also not that straightforward. So again, it's every product like this is completely for low code or
Okay.
developers. Like you can build it out. But again, AI Foundry and other products, you require some code skills over there. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. The reason why I asked this question is like before getting involved into this course, I have studied about this a little, and I found that there is also this Azure
AI
AI
Foundry,
Foundry.
yes.
So that is the reason why now I got this opportunity perfectly, and I've gone for this question. So
Yeah.
that is the reason. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. AI Foundry is a very good product. I mean,
Yeah.
generally, I would prefer that after you learn the Copilot Studio, try out Azure AI Foundry. You will feel lots of similarity in between those, many similarities. I mean, almost the 70 to 60% of AI is, I mean, UI is almost same. But yeah, it has more capability for sure, 100%. So
Yeah.
yeah, it's like that.
Yeah. Thank you. Thanks for answering. Thank you so much.
Yep. Srilekha, you have a question?
Yeah, Dhruvin. So you have said the 20 custom default connectors we can connect, right? At the
20
backend.
knowledge sources.
So
Knowledge source.
20 knowledge sources per agent.
Yes, per agent. Yes.
Agent. Okay.
Yeah.
So apart from Microsoft knowledge, any other custom like we have any other?
So right now it's supporting around this many of types. So if you go to the agent over here, so generally knowledges are passed right now in this fashion. Either you can upload the static file or you can connect public website, SharePoint, Azure AI, Dataverse, Dynamics, Salesforce, ServiceNow, Azure SQL. Apart from that, if you go to the advanced, these other tools are available at this point. And again, if you just wanted to look at out something else, just search over here and see if it is available, then it will just show you as a result over here. So those are something which you can configure as a knowledge source. So knowledge source is different and connectors are different. Connectors are 100, I mean 1400 plus connectors are available in Power Platform. So all those connectors are available here as well. So connectors are different, knowledge sources are different. Knowledge sources means how your model is getting trained or how it is connecting to your data to render the answer. It's knowledge source. So right now it is around 20, 30 knowledge sources are there. Yeah.
Okay. So then what is the difference between like knowledge? Okay, knowledge means like we are saving the data or we are getting the data from this
No.
Oracle database and all,
Knowledge
or
is read only. Knowledge is read only, which means that you just query your data. So
um,
let's say for an example, how you are doing Google search, right? That okay,
yeah,
I want base trainer for Power Apps, and when you make a query, Google is looking at their database, index database, and giving you the search result, right?
yeah.
That is knowledge. Okay, which
Mm,
means that this agent, when you are searching that, okay, I want the best doctor from this city, and behind the scene you have your, in this agent you configured that, okay, whatever user will type, only look this knowledge source. Okay, which means this data, look at and answer it out. So it will look at, make a query to your SharePoint. It will use some search AI combination and give you the result that, okay, in this city you have this 10 doctors which are good. Or maybe if you are asking that, okay, tell me some public park which are near to me, or maybe near to this location. So it will look at the knowledge which you have added over here as a knowledge source, and it will give you the answer. But if you're saying book an appointment for me, this is not knowledge. Book an appointment is done by that connector, which is action. Okay, so knowledge is just like a search query which is finding the answer and give it to you. Okay,
Okay, it's kind of read the data
yeah,
and it will provide.
natural
That CRUD
language answering.
operations and
Yeah,
all, it will done by
action,
connectors. Yeah.
connectors and actions. Yes, that's
Okay.
correct. Okay, yep, I
Okay.
can see raise hand from Yashoda Kumar.
Hi, Dhruvin. Last week I asked that I'm not able to access that videos. That is the reason I'm
Oh, okay. Okay. So sorry about that. I'll just have a look after this call itself.
here. I'm
Just
getting like this.
okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Just a minute. So can you open your email, please? From where you are opening, just open your
Yeah.
email.
This is
Yeah. Yeah. Just click on the open button over there. Yeah. Just go to any
this
class
is
folder.
Power Apps. One second.
Okay. Just click on that. Okay. Maybe that link has been changed. I'll send you the new link. Okay. Just give me today's date. I'll send you the email again. Okay. For this one. All right. Perfect. Any other thing?
No,
Okay.
you will give the new
Yeah.
link.
I'll send it. Yep. I'll send it to you. Okay.
Same email.
Yes. Yes. I have your email address. Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
Perfect.
Okay.
Okay. I can see raise hand from
Yeah, Dhruvin, this is Anmantrao.
yes.
Yeah, Dhruvin, can you please share your screen and open the solution tab? So I seen something in solution when you are creating the agent. What are the topics we are added in the that agent we are finding in solution?
Yes,
So
that's
same,
correct.
yeah, same the way when you are adding the existing agent, that agent also having the topics, right? How you can find out these topics
It will add
belong?
automatically. You don't need to do any activity for that. So let's say for an example, if you are at any existing agent over here, okay, and if you select the agent, all the dependent agent component will be automatically added over here. You don't need to do any extra activity for that. So it will have it over here.
Oh, here you are selected all. When you are click on agent component, there we will see. Okay, okay.
Yeah, yeah, and this is your original agent. Like this is your agent. This is your topic. And moving forward in future, if you are adding more and more things, your knowledge source, your connection, everything will be added within the solution. Because ultimately behind the scene, it uses something, right, to make it happen. So everything will be added in your solution one after another into this one.
Okay. Yeah, thanks, Dhruvi. Thank you.
All right, perfect. Okay, anyone else has any other question before we wrap? Okay, I do not see any more raised hand. All right. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining. See you in the Friday's class then. Have a great day ahead. Goodbye.
Thanks,
Thank
Dhruvi.
you.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye.